Okay. Welcome to AlphaISM Radio. Tonight, I am truly honored to have an integral part of the community with us. That is Tony Cannon. And we're going to be talking about his latest project that he's been working on, GGPO. And so here we go. Alright, here we go. Tony, what's up? Tony? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
There we go.
Alright, yeah, the mic had an off switch, who knew?
How you doing, man?
Pretty good, how you doing?
I'm been doing alright myself. So, let me ask you the most obvious question. How did this all start anyway? You know, with GGPO and...
Hold on, people are challenging me left and right, I gotta get off this thing.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. What's up,
Yeah.
Okay, good shit.
So how did this start? A while ago, a really long time ago. So we want to know when it actually started. I was in college, say, I'm gonna date myself, 1993. And I was talking with my roommate. Yeah, I'm that old. We were playing CE, and I was a CS undergraduate, and he was a double E, and we were trying to figure out what it would take to like play networked like cross country, and figured out like if you take the speed of light and you like figure out the fastest you could possibly get a modem to work and everything, it's not good enough. Like it takes about 3 frames for your inputs to go across the network. So then we kind of gave up. But I've always been thinking about it, and then like 2 years ago I had an idea and thought about the way people play. So the way most people do this, right, is you'll hit a button, right, and they'll send it to the other guy, and then, but they won't send it to the game until they've gotten an input from the other guy, right? So that's where the lag comes from. So it's maybe like 3 or 4 frames, right, depending on how good the quality is, right? If you're like playing the guy next door, maybe it's only 1 or 2 frames, and you can get like really good gameplay, feels almost like the arcade, right? But if you're going cross country, and it's like, 4 or 5 frames, and you get lag fighter and lag tactics and all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So I looked sort of like, that's obviously not the right way to do it. And if you look at how people play, they key off certain things that are happening, right now. Like when you're doing a link, you'll either wait for the sound, or you'll look at the frame, or when you're doing reversal, some people look at when the guy's on their back and then they count 2 and uppercut or whatever. But what's really important is that your input happens when you want it to, and then you can put the lag someplace else, right? So then I thought about ways to do that, and really started working on it around 2 years ago, kind of in my spare time, and seeing how good it could be, and off and on, and yeah, it finally got to the point where it's actually pretty good. I tested cross country I think about a year ago with David Wright and Mike Krecky and David Serlin and Joey and those guys.
Sign non-disclosure agreements?
No, I just told them to keep their mouths shut, and they did.
Good
it's
job.
Great.
Older men can keep secrets, apparently.
I know, see? Off in the scene, right? But, yeah, and so it finally got to the point where it was like, good enough, and it probably wasn't going to get any better until we got like a bunch of people banging on it and finding the problems. And so I had Tom whip up the really nice front-end client. Everything used to be on the command line, and that's no good, right? So he whipped up a UI so you could challenge people and stuff, and yeah, we just threw it out there and see how people like it.
So now it's been on for a few days now. What's how you liking how it's proceeding? How's the feedback?
I think it's pretty good. For most people, they say it's better than Xbox Live and Kalula or something? Yeah, whatever how you pronounce that. which is what we were hoping for, right? Some people were like really, really positive. Like I think Eakin said that we tried before we went like public alpha, we did a private alpha, and we played Los Angeles to Australia, and he said that it's better than Australia to Australia on Xbox Live, which is really good. And then some people with really good Xbox Live connections say it's about the same. But that's I think that's pretty good. First release, and it's at least is better.
Xbox Live,
yeah, well, not really beating.
Or even comparable. Comparable is a lot for a free service.
Yeah. So yeah, we're pretty happy with it.
I know that you said, or maybe I don't think it was actually you. Maybe your brother mentioned on his interview on the show that he had played Street Fighter online in an environment where the lag really wasn't that noticeable, so I guess this is probably what he was talking about, yeah?
Yeah, this is what he was talking about. So, yeah, Tom and I live, 10 miles away from each other, so when we play each other, and we're both on Comcast cable, so it's not even going over the internet, it's just going over Comcast network. It's really good. Yeah, I mean, Comcast is probably smart about that, about routing stuff internally. Yeah, so it's like... It's like you're at the arcade, right? It's just, there's no lag, there's no jitter. Even the sound, that's the worst thing about GTPO.net is the sound, because of the way I hide the latency. And because I'm using an emulator, I can't do anything except play these little 16 millisecond sound chunks. Right? So the sound just sucks. But, when you're playing really close, it's really good. So, yeah, that's what he was talking about.
Wow, you know what? I've been playing it too. I've been actually frustrated, but not because of any lag. It's just because this is the first time I ever really played a game on the keyboard, a fighting game on the keyboard, and it ain't working. I'm gonna have to go do something about that. Yeah, I mean, I played some matches myself, and the only time I had really, really a bad connection, I was playing that guy from South America. So that's to be expected. So, but otherwise, it's really good. So for those of you out there, who have been under the rock for the past 2 days and have not yet, played the game, this is a great opportunity for you to, play a great. I'm glad that you chose Alpha 2. That's probably the best game.
That's a real good choice.
Yeah.
And I don't even like Alpha or Alpha 2, and I believe it was a good choice.
Yeah, it's funny. I like Alpha 2 probably the most of the alphas, and I wanted to pick something that wasn't really available for people. I wouldn't pick Hyper Fighter, and I wouldn't pick ST, because those are on Xbox Live or will be soon. And Hyper happened to be the first, Alpha 2 is the first ROM I found, so I'm like, do Alpha 2.
Nice. It really just came down to that.
Yeah, pretty much. It was like, what game do I want to play? And so I was like, I'll play Alpha 2. I didn't want to play Alpha 3, and Alpha 1 is kind of a joke. And I was like, maybe Street Fighter 3, but there was no CPS3 emulator at the time. And so I'm like, Alpha 2. And, go ahead.
How much work do you have to actually do, on the level of working with Street Fighter code, or is your net code, basically, separate? Do you have to, handle things from the game?
No, it's totally separate. So what I did is I took Final Burn, which is a really old but really, I think, high-quality emulator for what it does. It has a couple bugs in it. If you play ST, actually, I tried, for example. It's really bad at ST. Graphics are missing and all sorts of things. But, there's not much code there, and it does its job as an emulator. It doesn't do all this freaky stuff trying to be the best, experience for the user with filters and fancy graphics and stuff. It just emulates the game. So I took that, and all my networking code runs underneath it. There's 4 things the emulator needs to do, and then I just kind of hook into it at a very high level, and then marshal the input back and forth. That's the same way. I'm going to try it again. Kylera apparently is how they're saying it in IRC works. Right? Yeah. It gives me the input, and then I send it over the network, and I kind of merge it back, and then play some tricks. So yeah, it'll work with Alpha 2. It'll work with Alpha 3. It'll work with ST. I've tried all those, and they all work. There's no reason it can't work for anything, as long as the emulator is good enough.
Really?
Right? Yeah. So I tried hooking it up to Final Burn Alpha, actually. I think it's called Final Burn Alpha. Yeah, FBA.
Yeah.
And which is much nicer emulator from a user's point of view because it has all these funky scaling modes and it has online chat when you're doing networking and stuff. But quality-wise, as an emulator, it's not as good as Final Burn, and I was seeing all sorts of bugs that I wasn't seeing with Final Burn. Really? So I just threw it out. Yeah, I just went back to Final Burn and said, I made it for the networking code, and I don't want to fix bugs in Final Burn Alpha. So.
Wow. So, currently, what are you working on next with it? Are you going more games, or get this worked out first?
Probably not going to see any more games in the near future. If anything, you would probably see Marvel vs. Capcom 1 because you can't play that. Well, you can play it online with other things, but there's not it's not like it's out for the PlayStation or the Xbox 360 or anything.
Right.
So. And then, but that's kind of on the back burner. It's not my biggest priority. My biggest one is doing things like, just making it better. Right now, you kind of log in and you try to challenge someone, but they're playing someone else, and it kind of sucks. The hard part is done, right? We can play Street Fighter online pretty good now. And so now, stuff like online tournaments or online ladders, or we had this idea of GGPO TV, where it's kind of like YouTube, right?
Yeah.
And so if you have a ladder, those the way people play now, you'll play for an hour, right? Or you'll play for a half hour or whatever, and it's just one long stream of and so that's not really. Yeah, it's like you're at the arcade, right? But if you're playing in a tournament or you're playing on a ladder, there's just one game, right? And that's 60 seconds, 2 minutes or something, and that's something that people can watch, right? So it'd be great if we recorded all the ladder matches and all the tournament matches, and then put them online so people could browse them and search by user and be like, oh, there was this online tournament on Saturday, I want to watch that, and you can just watch it, online, things like that. Just sort of build up a community around it, and because another reason why I did this, the main reason I started actually thinking about it is. Arcades are gone, right? They're not even dying anymore. They're just gone, at least in most of the United States. And, Capcom and SNK and all these other people are sort of on life support with their fighters. DOA 4 is the biggest splash in online fighting, but it's not. Even that's not good. At least not by my standards. I wouldn't play DOA 4 online. I tried a lot and I couldn't. Too much lag, right? So, if this is kind of a proof of concept. It's more than a proof of concept. It works, frankly.
It's way more than that, man.
Right. So, if enough hype, is generated by this, then maybe someone at Capcom will notice and kind of poke their nose in and say, what's going on here? How are you doing this? Or at least, it kind of sets a bar of this is what can be achieved online, and maybe if you tried harder, you could actually do it. I don't necessarily care about, making millions of dollars. There's not millions of dollars off this technology, right? But, unless somebody does this, the community is going to keep getting smaller and smaller. If you look at Evo attendance over the years, it's the same faces over and over again, right? Because people aren't playing fighters, and why not? It's because people don't go to the arcade, and there's not a good alternative on the console. So, it's all about, keeping it going, trying to actually grow the scene instead of just keeping it where it is now.
Well, first of all, I think I speak for everybody when I say thank you for the tremendous amount of work I know that you put into this game and into this
we're giving you
code.
E+.
This is a great gift. By the way, this is the gift that keeps on giving. This has been a really great year for fighting gamers, and you just kind of putting the cherry on the top here. Hold on for 1 second. I guess I got somebody here.
Ooh. Beep beep.
Alright.
Yo, what's up?
What's up, man?
Not much.
But I was saying is that I was very happy about, and then when I saw this, and I got a chance to play it, and it works, and so I'm anxious to see what comes of it, and like I say, I hope that it does get the ball rolling, and before you know it, maybe this. I know there's going to be a lot of Alpha 2 fans that's going to be sending you Christmas presents because of this, because You might single-handedly just revive that game.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So
I mean, the Alpha 2 is such an incredible choice because, like, I came into the scene personally, like, and Alpha 3 was still being played a little bit. It was like on its last legs, but it still had tournaments and everything, and people always talked about that game, but at the same time people would fondly remember Alpha 2, and then new players came along for like the last batch of games that came out, like MVC2, CVS2, all of that, and people didn't really have any experience with Alpha 2, and Alpha 2 is like widely regarded as the best one out of the series, and now since people are getting like a little bit of exposure to it through like the anthology game that came out, even more people are starting to see that it's a game that you can play. And like me being a player that doesn't even enjoy Alpha games so much, it's cool to sit down and just play some Alpha 2 games because it's basic Street Fighter action is better.
That's what I was gonna say, man. It is basic Street Fighter action because Street Fighter Alpha 3, that's just another can of worms. It's not really Street Fighter anymore. It's Vism, Vism Fighter. That's what I call it. It's Infinite Fighter.
I think it was a good choice going with Alpha 2 though, because not a lot of it's been a while since people played it, so people are trying to get back into it, and it's not. There's one person that's just dominating everybody. It's fun to play.
Plus, the fundamentals still work on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The fundamentals work. Once the good players come back, that's what I'm anxious to see. Where is Alex Valle?
That's what I was gonna say. Where is Alex? Out of all, you know what? Isn't this a bitch? After all of this, with Tony bringing this online, Alpha 2, this is Alex Valle's throne here, and he is nowhere to be found.
I went and looked at B3 videos on YouTube from '96. I'm looking at that whole thing.
But and hey Tony, so let me what's really got me excited is this is an alpha release, and it's so good right now. I mean, I can only imagine when it's final.
Yeah. Well, it's got 2 years of work in it, so. Well, the reason I'm calling it alpha is there's all these crappy little bugs that really don't have anything to do with the networking code. Like, if you've played a lot, you'll notice the server goes down every 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. I think I finally fixed that one. And, if you challenge someone and they're in the middle of a game, weird stuff happens. There's a bunch of stuff, and the sound really sucks, right? But the core networking code has been really beaten on for the past 2 years. I mean, off and on, but... the networking stuff, it might get a little better. There's sort of stuff I can do, like, right now, so in case anyone was curious, there's 1 frame of input lag, no matter what you do, no matter how bad your connection is or anything, it's 1 frame. So it's not quite exactly like the arcade, but most people can't tell. Alex Valle can probably tell, but, 90% of us can't. So what I can do is, like, when you're playing that guy from South America that everyone's played against and the connection's really crappy, right, I could do like 3 or 5 frames or something to smooth it out. But the networking code is pretty much there. Now we just want to add all sorts of cool stuff on it, like GGPO TV and ladders and, to get people wanting to play. Like right now, it's annoying because like there'll be 51, not that many, but 21 people online, and 20 of them are playing, and that one guy's just like, what about me? I log in and I see that it's like one guy's got no one to play against, right? So if we did a ladder, we could do like round robin, and you'll have a little bit, a little bit of a wait, but you can always play. And, just add new features, see what people think.
And just think about it, in future Evolution tournaments, you have people bringing their PCs, like first-person, shooter, people do. Bring their PCs and have a little LAN Alpha 2 tournament.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's what I see, coming out of it, and I'm tickled pink about it, to be honest with you. I've been playing it ever since, I got home from work yesterday, and there was like a whole bunch of news, that just came out in just 24 hours. DGPO.net is up. Guilty Gear is coming to the United States, and all of this stuff, and I'm very, very, I'm a happy camper right now.
Oh yeah, a lot of news on the Street Fighter 3 emu. Just a couple. That was this week, right?
Yeah,
that was this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh fuck. Sorry, my bad.
No, I was just gonna say, man, it's a great year to be a gamer. I'd say it's been a great year. With Super Turbo HD Remix coming, and knowing that Capcom hasn't totally fallen asleep on the Street Fighter franchise. You know, it's good news.
Good news.
Good news.
There is a robust Marvel 1 community. If you ever do get that to that end of the program, there's a robust Marvel 1 online community, and I would love to see them get beat by real players. So.
Oh wow! Ski, you open up a can of worms that we just try to close.
Saban is gonna go beast on that.
I wasn't listening to what you guys were saying a second ago, but yeah, do it.
People play Marvel 1 online?
Yes.
Yeah.
How do they do that?
They play
I don't
on
know.
Kalara, and it's laggy.
How do you do an infinite with that much lag?
I think you just play with the lag all the time and get used to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's
Wow.
Marvel Lag Fighter version 1.0. So, by the way, I have a question. I asked this in the channel. No one how come there aren't any Marvel 2 ROMs?
Marvel 2 is a Naomi game. It's Dreamcast.
Yeah.
There aren't. I don't know if there are any Dreamcast emulators. Are there any good ones?
Yeah, there's Dreamcast emulators, but I don't think it runs it well.
Oh, okay.
No. There's one that runs it well now. It's came out in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I want to say, maybe 3 or 4 months even. But there's a Dreamcast emulator now that works pretty well, from what I understand.
Oh, okay. All right. I forgot.
I don't think it has netplay though.
Figures. Of course, it won't have. So, Tony, all we need to do now is for you to do that for Guilty Gear, and we are good to go.
Guilty Gear on a PS3 emulator, or
No, I mean it's PS2 emulator because it's coming on
okay,
PS2.
oh my God, Guilty Gear. Oh, I don't play that game. I don't know.
Man, no love. Any from anybody.
Sorry.
No love whatsoever. But it's
Gotta
all
have
good.
priorities.
Honestly, you know what? I was hoping though when you start start building the stuff around the network code, I would think it would be kind of cool if somehow you can hold some type of online tournaments. Maybe I know that you have Evolution, but it'd be kind of cool if
If the network quality gets better, you can have Evo online qualifiers. If that's even, give them a really high seed though. Yeah.
Tournament sounds like a good idea for tournaments for tournament's sake. Yeah. Just every weekend, or heck, you can do it every day if you want.
Whatever.
But
Let's
you
just
don't
have a
wanna burn
tournament
people
now.
out.
Do it.
Right now, yeah, I'm ready.
All right, somebody drop some brackets. That's good. Yeah, somebody drop some brackets.
That is the next piece of software coming. Brackets, right? Tournament bracket software and all that stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll probably do the latter
Rise
first.
kick. My bad. Sorry, I'm playing somebody right now.
Playing Chun-Li. That's wrong.
Yeah.
It's free. Play low tier.
That's why you can't.
That's what I do. I
nothing.
play low tier. I play with Bison
Yeah.
and
I
Evil Ryu.
played Chun-Li, but I didn't know she was that good.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, she's like third strike Chun-Li, but worse.
She seems pretty
It's
good.
about the custom.
can't
Low
do
roundhouse, lightning leg, up kick, crazy.
So
Wait,
you know
where
what?
do I
I
plug
just
in my
noticed
stick?
though. You know what? This Tony, this just shows you, the influence you have. You know how on GameFAQs.com it has the list of the 10 most popular fact requested. I think Alpha 2 is up there all of a sudden.
Really?
If I remember correctly, when I was going, I'm like, because I got in on the late because everyone was playing it by the time I got to know. But I was just wondering, I was listening, I was looking on there. I don't know if it's still on there, but it was Alpha 2's on there. I'm like, that's odd. I don't recall seeing Alpha 2 on here. So.
I mean, all right, I got it. Alpha. No, it's not in the top 50.
It's not on the top. It must be 51 or something because
No,
I
it's on
thought
the
I
top
saw it
100.
there.
Maybe they run their stats very fair. Yeah,
Oh,
or maybe
yeah.
people found them because the facts online, right?
Right.
Yeah, so probably people found them and then it went back down.
I can't wait for the Alex tutorial videos to start coming out for Alpha 2 and everything. So let me ask you a question. What is, first of all, how should I ask this? Does this excite you to the point where you might want to get back in competitively with game? I know you have a career and you got a family and stuff, but so what does this do for your interest in in fighting games?
Personally, I was never that good to begin with, and I think if I tried to get competitive now, it would be a big disappointment. So I am not interested in like beating down the world now, especially since sort of the more time you have to practice. Right? There's two.
Hello.
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 Yeah.
Tony.
I think he dropped. Man, I was about to ask him some questions.
He's still here.
Oh,
Yeah, I think he's.
I think he probably need to do the network coding for Skype too, don't you think?
Yeah, his networking card just pulled out of his system. He's rebooting.
His what?
His network card got pulled out of his computer, I think.
How can you accidentally pull out your network card out of your computer?
I don't know. Maybe it just turned off. 1 second.
Good game. Peace out. Wow. All right. So while he's rebooting, oh, this is. By the way, I'm hating this new Skype.
Hey, I remember you had a link in AlphaISM up about a critical update for Skype. I didn't download that. So
Man, you know what? Actually, stay away from it because I'm hating it now.
Huh.
What's up,
Who's
Kai?
Nigel? Is that Kai?
So,
What's going on, man?
What's up, Kai?
So while Tony's rebooting, of course, let me go back over the important news of the day, and that is that Guilty Gear is coming to the United States. Like I told you, motherfuckers, it is going to be coming for PlayStation 2 and Wii. And on top of that, they're going to be fixing the bugs that were in the Japanese release. And on top of that, they're going to be you can be able to use your GameCube controller or the classic controller. Oh, we got the other cannon. What's up, Tom?
yeah, who killed my brother?
How you doing, man? Hello?
Oh my God!
Uh-oh.
They're going after him. They're killing the cannons. They don't want GGPO to.
This is obviously either
Capcom trying to kill them.
Microsoft, or
Yeah.
SNK Games.
This is a conspiracy to cite. You know what?
It's like Xbox Live is like, oh hell no.
You know what? Speaking of Capcom, I do wanted to tell you guys you should be looking for a cool interview coming within the next week or a week and a half. Can't say more than that, but if it's going to be a pretty cool interview, I think, and I think you guys going to like who I will have on the show. Well, one thing that is there a pause button in this final burn?
Pause as in no. I think there isn't.
Pause. Why do you want pause?
You know, like sometimes I like to pause. You know, I go to the bathroom or something. You know?
You can't pause in the arcade, homie.
I know. I mean,
If you really want to pause it, I mean, you can just like, I think there's some way of, I don't know. I may be thinking of Winquox. Yeah, whatever.
by the way, this is an off-kilter question. Tom, are you and Tony twins?
Yeah.
I never knew. I mean, I'm just like Tom and Tony. That sounds, like name for each other. Okay. Who was
Tell me
born
about it.
first anyway?
Me.
My bad. I'm sorry. I'm watching UFC.
If you're watching UFC and laughing, that's pretty dang.
Some
bad.
guy's like self DDT'd himself.
How is that possible?
He picked the guy up and then tossed him down, and he just dropped himself on his head.
Nice.
Wow. Okay, let me. Anyone seen that link that Tony posted with the jumping fish and the people with bare bow and arrows trying to hitting it? Anyone seen that video?
I saw
It's
that.
straight up Mario Party live. I've never. First of all, I've never seen fish that jump out like that. Anyway, But they did. I mean, it's like a bow and arrow with, guys a bow and arrow, and they're trying to hit these jumping fish. These jumping. It was kind of Oh, Tom, I think Faye is interested in you.
Who? What?
Nothing.
I'm married.
Oh, you're both married. Okay.
Who's Faye?
It's a girl. Girl
right.
in the Capcom channel.
Sorry, Faye.
Now, would be really interesting if both of you were married to twins.
No, that would not be interesting.
Why not? Why would that not be interesting? That would be kind of cool though. I mean,
Nah, that would be one of you married your sister-in-law, whoever got married second.
Huh?
If they were married to separate twins?
Yeah, if they both were married to another set of twins, that would be kind of cool.
And then what if those twins were also married to another set of twins? I'm just
I know
just
what
playing.
you're saying.
Let's change the subject to Street Fighter. Seriously.
No, I see what you're saying. Welcome back, Tony.
Thank you. I kicked out my networking card.
Okay, I thought that Capcom, silenced you.
Yeah, they put in the hit. ICBM. No, it was just my networking card.
Sure. All right. So since I got actually the both of you in here, I was like, are you guys? And that's kind of a stupid question to ask. Are you excited about Evolution this year? Well, hopefully you are, or else we're all in trouble. So, I wanted to ask you guys, how do you feel about, Evolution, like West, because West and South are now done. East and South are now done, and what North is happening this weekend, right?
Yep. Seth is David are out at North right now. Holding down along with Jason Wilson, who's hosting the whole thing.
Where is Evil North being held? Nebraska or?
Illinois, right? Super Just Games, where the Midwest Championship tournaments were held.
Oh,
Yeah.
in Illinois. I didn't know that. Oh, okay. How you guys feeling about Evil World? Is there anything
far,
you're
so
looking
good.
for in particular? To happen, or what do you hope to happen? Besides a bigger audience, of course.
Well, the usual. We want everyone to come and have a good time. I mean, that's the most important thing, is that people enjoy themselves. Yeah. So we're doing lots of stuff to hopefully, make sure that people have a good time, not just in the tournaments. Like the BYOC, we're going to keep doing that. And then, last year we got to have that nice plasma in the back of one of the Yaris's supplied by Toyota, so you could play other games other than Street Fighter if you really wanted to. So we're trying to do more of that kind of stuff.
Personally, I think you should have Madden 08 back there, but that's just me speaking.
Well,
I have a question about Evo. I was wondering, have you ever talked to not TSN because they died, but ITG about getting coverage, like how they cover other events like QuakeCon?
ITG, I'm not familiar with ITG. Did you mean IGN?
No, not IGN. ITG is like a shoutcasting. They go to events like for Counter-Strike and Quake, and they do like video streams.
No. I actually haven't heard of them.
Me either.
Yeah,
But that does lead into another
yeah.
question. IGN. I mean, have you guys ever thought about approaching?
Well, IGN was actually at the last Evo, and they did a little number on it, along with G4 and Game Trailers TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
By the
But
way,
yeah, so the problem with, covering pro sports in general, and I guess we're kind of in that category, is that no one is really interested in covering, almost no one is interested in covering, the event as, a competition. All the coverage is geared towards, covering it like a con or like a curiosity or something like that. And MLG is actually trying to change that. To do it, they had to buy TV time on the USA Network, and they're just going to produce it themselves. So hopefully that kind of thing catches on.
Who is watching TV?
That's me. Oh, I'll mute it. My bad.
You heard of the GGL, right?
TV?
Yeah.
TV League.
Yeah, GGL's tried to do some stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's...
GGL is affiliated with ITG. That's another thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so GGL actually tries to do the right thing here. They try to cover the events that they cover as, competitions and
Yeah.
sort of, do the general interview with the man at the event or whatever. It's tricky, though. I mean, they've had some success, but we're not quite at the level yet where people understand that, the competition is kind of the point. And, like, all these people are watching these guys play. Maybe they're actually interested in what's going on, and the story is that, they're...
Whoa. Okay, my bad.
The story is that they're like, competitors that are going against each other, and these are the best players in the world, not just that a bunch of people decided to come together and play a game.
You know what? Let me ask you a question. Actually, this goes for both of you. This is an interesting question. Let's say that Evolution blows up over the next 5 years, and you both become millionaires. What would be the fight? If you were to have you dreamed of what you might do for the community that you just can't do right now because of obviously money constraints?
Well, okay, that's kind of silly.
No, I don't think that's silly. It's like it could happen.
So Evo is big, bigger than it was say 2 or 3 years ago, which is great. But the reason why it's bigger than it was 2 or 3 years ago is because we're just taking anything that we get out of Evo, pouring it right back into Evo, right? So the idea is we don't want Evo to cost money, right? Because we have to shell up big bucks to do this. It's just not going to happen. It's not feasible. I have a mortgage and all that. But at the same time, this stuff is still in its infancy, and no one is making a lot of money on this stuff.
I understand that. I just meant down the
but
line.
Having said that, I'll address your hypothetical. Gee, I don't know. So let's see. So you start to think about. Let's see. So if you really had sort of millions of dollars flowing into the fighting game community, how would you?
Fading out, Tom.
What?
You're fading out.
Oh, I'm fading out. Sorry. Here, how's that? Is that any better?
That's better. Yeah.
Right, so if you really had millions of dollars flowing into the fighting game community, what could you do with that? Well,
I know what I would do with it.
Okay, good. You have an idea. Great. I'm glad.
Yeah, I wouldn't give it to the players. At least I wouldn't start by giving it to the players.
That's the idea.
No, I'll tell you why, right? So I was looking for this other link. I finally found it. It's the Championship Gaming Series. And they're trying to approach it there's these teams, and they're professional gamers, and they get paid a salary, and there's a draft, and sort of trying to do the NBA type appeal, right? And it's just staged drama. It's no one wants to watch it. I don't know. The reason Evo is so successful is because it's real drama. It's stuff people care about. It's the real emotions. They actually the Daigo thing with the parries and stuff. You don't have to be a gamer to appreciate that, and it's accessible to everyone, right? So if we had more money, I would just make it more accessible, right? And make it how poker is basically these days, where anybody can go to a poker tournament, and you can make it to the World Series of Poker off a $15 satellite and parlay your way up there, right? So if we could do and this is if you had millions of dollars, right? You could hire a real PR firm, and you could hire real people to run little mini tournaments and just, build it up and, just let people, get everyone, run 50 tournaments a year in parallel and just, make a big open 1,000-person, 2,000, 3,000-person tournament with a, cap in Vegas, or, anyone can, be, the champion. There's no draft. There's no, fake drama. There's no contract, meaning you can't play on other people's tournament scenes or anything like that. It's just, spread out what we've got already.
I would gold plate the consoles.
Oh, yeah, and I would definitely gold plate the consoles.
Oh, my God. That's kind of cool. Actually, go play the consoles. Shoot.
You know what got me about that draft? They drafted a girl first.
What? Hey, smart move. No, basically, the format is, you play, you win, you get a point. And there's women against women. If there's one woman who's a guaranteed victory, I take her first too. Why take the best guy who's only going to win 80% of the time if the woman's going to win 100% of the time? Yeah, that's what it's like. It's the whole fake rule. That's why it's like.
But aren't they going to match up the girls versus the guys as well in DOA?
I don't think so. Are they?
Yeah, they play each other in regular tournaments.
Oh.
Yeah, I think
one of the guys got flack because he got beat by one of the girls. I know that.
Yeah, I remember in that one tournament, the one that they had with Master and somebody else, they had the dude and the girl play, and the girl just got destroyed.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's a PR pick then. They knew they'd get more coverage.
I
the
think
girl
they just
got
have to have
drafted
a
by a
girl.
GM.
Well, she used to be the game girl or whatever they used to call them. They showed up at EVO one year when we were hooking up with MLG. Yeah, MGL. Yeah, she used to be a frag doll, right? I think so. I think I read that.
I'm completely lost.
But yeah, I watched a couple of videos there, and I'm glad more of these things are popping up, because eventually someone's going to get the format right. I don't think they've got it right, but eventually someone will. So I don't want to talk too much trash, but what they're doing now is just manufactured drama, and that never sells.
Wait, what
All right, it sells on MTV. It sells on MTV.
A lot.
Right, yeah.
Reality TV shows, it just probably isn't necessarily.
No, I mean, like the reality TV shows with real drama sell, like Survivor and even something like Hell's Kitchen, which is kind of cheesy, but at least it's like real drama. But it's close enough, right? I mean, stuff like all those dating shows, one they've got now with the 20-year-olds and the 40-year-olds against the tennis star, right? I don't know, those. I guess they do sell, but it's hard to take manufactured drama with something people don't care about. Like, the mainstream audience does not care about Dead or Alive.
They don't care about CGS?
Yes, we were talking about CGS.
Yeah.
And
I did like their drafts for the Project Gotham Race, and they had a bunch of old men.
They did?
Yeah, they.
One guy's like 35 and 32 and 28.
35 is an old man.
Well, wait, hold on.
Like 28, man.
28, you fucked up. I mean, I'm 28 years old.
Well, not necessarily a 28-year-old, but the funny thing was that the 28-year-old looked older than the other guys.
So you said 35 is old?
38, there was 35-year-olds?
When it comes to gaming, I would think that, they're drafting these young teams, and all of a sudden you have, for one game, a bunch of these older guys coming for the draft.
Now you backtracking. Now it's older, not old.
No. When I say old, I'm talking about relative towards these gamers being drafted. They were old, man. Compared to these guys, they were like 19, 20, and all of a sudden you got these guys, they're like 35, and they got
youngest I saw was 17, oldest I saw was 38. I was like, what? When I saw like the 35-year-olds and 38-year-olds being drafted, I was like, what?
Man, it was said, listen. There's only one old.
And they look older than their ages.
There's only one old fighting gamer, and that's Watson. We all know that. So that's like Watson's good, but man, I know he's at least. I think he's 43. But I'm gonna try to get proof of that. I mean, I'm serious. I got the Game Pro magazine from '94, and the dude had a full beard and a pot belly, and talking about he's only 14. Okay, you're 14 in dog years. You might think, hey, listen. I have no reason to lie, But Watson's cool. It's just that that dude been lying about his age for the past. I think he.
You better watch out, man. He's gonna come at you with his cane.
Yeah, I better stop it. He might write me out of his will. So, yeah. It's all right. I mean, he's got. Well, speaking of which, where is Watson? Probably babysitting his grandkids.
Oh, come on, dude. No, but I have mixed feelings for the draft, though. I think the best game they got there is probably Counter-Strike.
Yeah. I want them to put Quake in next year, because I can actually go and play that shit.
Oh, and at the end, when everybody didn't get drafted, they had the saddest faces and whatnot. That was awesome.
That guy had his he had his head like in between his legs the entire thing for like 3 hours straight, just hoping.
Want that $30,000 a year?
Yeah, so that's the other thing, right? It's like pro gaming, make your life as a gamer, and your life is like $30,000 a year.
Yeah,
It's
30,000.
a start.
Yeah.
It's a start.
Yeah, it is a
good.
start.
You know,
Yeah.
But they do have
poverty is-
bonuses. They have a couple $1 million worth of bonuses they can give out.
If they win, if they win the world championships, they get it's 30,000 base, but the more matches you win and stuff like that, you can go to 100,000.
I was just gonna say, 25,000 technically considered poverty level in the country.
Yeah.
Like 30,000. Damn, I don't make much more than that. Oh shoot, I'm poverty. That's strange. That's messed up. I'm poverty stricken, and I work for Bank of America. Dang.
Work for the bank.
Yep. Well, that's that's another piece of news. All right. I told I think a couple of you already, but I have been offered another job, and I have been going back and forth. It'd be working for Safeco. For those of you that live on the West Coast, you'll know that Safeco sells insurance. They're a really big insurance company, and they want me.
That sound is fucking. Whoa, you really need an option to turn off the challenge sound. That would be awesome.
What?
The challenge sound in GGPO client is like, here comes a new challenge.
I had it up last night, and I was on IRC, and the noise came up. I was like, "Oh shit!" And I was like, "It freaked me out."
We got yet another guest. And another guest.
Oh.
Oh, shoot. What did I do? Resume conference. This new Skype is really giving me fits. Everybody still there?
I'm
Yeah, I'm
still
here.
I'm trying
Yeah,
to play
yeah.
GGPO while I'm on Skype to see if it's playable, or if the lag, if Skype, IRC, AIM, all these tiny network applications cause this to be unplayable.
There's an echo.
You got an echo?
What echo?
I got echo from Ski.
Maybe it's because I have this on.
Alright, now I hear you fine.
Okay.
But anyway, I've been offered a job at Safeco Insurance as a treasury analyst, treasury operations analyst. So basically, I take care of all the banking needs for the insurance company. I'm really kind of in charge of it. So I've been kind of going back and forth whether or not it's possibility that they might offer me substantially more per year. I'm talking about maybe 15 to 20,000 more a year. If that's the case, then I'm gonna have to say bye to Bank of America, even though I've only been with them for 6 months. So on the best of luck on me on that.
6 months ain't shit.
Yeah, I know. $20,000 is shit though.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Does that mean you would have to relocate to the West Coast?
No, because their headquarters. Well, I already live on the West Coast. I live in SeaTac.
Oh, okay.
So the only difference is that I'll be working. Well, that's the thing. I may not even be. I might be still in the same building because although I work at Bank of America, the building that the bank is located in was just bought by Safeco. Or the lease was purchased by Safeco, and all the attorneys, they stay upstairs now. They all be moving out, and then in November, all of the Safeco insurance agencies and execs will be moving into the building. So I might be even still working in the same building, which would be kind of weird. But one thing I like about it is I'm not really good at sales, unlike my father who can sell water to a drowning man. I preferably like a job where I don't deal with sales too much. And that will be the plus side of taking this job, because this job is just managing finances, basically. Not really things sales oriented. So, yeah. So everybody can wake up now.
What?
Kai, you cannot get Rick Astley out of your head. What?
I got Rick rolled,
Never
man.
gonna give. Never gonna give.
That's wrong. That is wrong.
It's in my head, man.
Oh man.
I think my Rickroll count is like 1 or 2. I don't think. I actually go see the thing and then I'm like, alright. I go. Oh god. This does not count as a Rickroll.
I can't believe like some of the clothes we wore back in the 1980s.
I like the black guy that jumps on the fence in the
Rick
middle of the video.
Astley cannot dance. The dude should just be a statue. Just sing. He got a great voice. Just don't try to dance.
What are you hating for?
I'm not hating. He has a great voice. He has a black man's voice. But he definitely don't got the black man's dance. Well, neither do I, so that doesn't mean I can't dance either.
I heard that's how track dance. Right, Tragic?
Ooh, that's wrong. No. You guys are pretty quiet over there.
Yeah, the server's acting up. I'm poking it.
Are you gonna plan on adding more games to GGPO, or is this gonna be Alpha 2?
At the very most right now, I might add MVC 1 for variety and because there's no good way to play MVC 1 online. But after that, probably nothing else.
No ST?
I mean, no, ST will be online as soon as Capcom and Backbone release it. So,
hey, I meant to ask you guys. You guys, I assume you guys seen the new artwork that they released for the game. What do you guys think so far?
I have no gripes against it. I don't like these people on forums and everywhere. It's like, oh, his muscles look too big. If you're looking at the muscles, then what is your problem?
I was just gonna, I have to agree with that because that's almost borderline or obsession. I mean,
yeah.
That's my whole point of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think the art's fine.
I mean, I think artwork is fine too. By the way, I want to tell you, buddy, I did get a chance to play against Tay. No, I didn't get a chance to play against him, but I get a chance to meet him. Pretty cool guy. He almost put Jamar through a table at Preppy's place. That would have been good. But yeah, we had a good time. Ratana got like loud drunk. That was funny. And Jamar.
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah.
That's how Tragic dances. He calls it the swoop.
The swoop?
The swoop.
The
salt shaker. Oh man. I don't know, for some reason I find it hella funny. I got because the only reason I found it so hella funny is because I got the video up. No, that is not the swoop.
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. I've still commitments while I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just want to tell you.
You know what? I need to stop playing that because that will.
Trey just said he changed the challenge noise to never gonna give you to the never gonna give sound. So when you get the challenge in GPO, it's never gonna give.
Give you up. Never gonna give. No.
Just bring a huge ass boombox guy with that song on it.
Oh goodness gracious!
You just see Trash out of nowhere start doing the swoop, the salt shaking.
Oh man.
Oh man, this is great. This is great. Why you have to be gay, huh? No.
That's a gay black man to jump against the fence.
I can't argue with that. Yeah.
When I first saw the video, the guy jumped on the fence. I was like, what the fuck?
It's interesting. Everyone remarks about that, but I didn't really particularly notice it. I saw it, but yeah, it's kind of funny.
You weren't confused? I was just like, why is he jumping against the fence and just staring at you like?
Never gonna give.
Dude, that was gay, man. What the fuck?
What's going on, man?
Never gonna give. You trying to practice when you drop the soap or something? And when you go, if you go to jail? Never gonna give.
No, that would be never gonna
Hey, yo.
get, never gonna get. Yeah. Get something up. Yeah.
Oh man, we see a drunken bum guy with no shirt on, look like a pot belly. I'm about to go inside Denny's. Anyways, bum guy was really good, man.
I'm alright, man. I'm alright. How about you?
Alright, good. Who else is on the radio? I know I heard it. Chate.
No, the
Terrence,
actually
Kai,
isn't on the
Sonic,
radio.
and Judman. Juds.
No, we got Juds on here. We got Kai on here. We got both Cannons, and got Ski.
Oh, what?
Yep.
Oh man, I'm
I
on the
know.
radio with the
Royalty,
Cannons.
ain't it? Bow down, motherfucker. No, I'm just kidding.
Kiss the ring.
Oh man, the Spaniards. Yo, the Spaniards. Yo, why is he by my car, yo?
Huh?
Why is that bum by my car? Didn't even not touch my car. I'm about to go zap his dumbass. No homo.
See, this is what I'm talking about. People have weird shit happening to them every time they get on the radio. Like, for example, I had the police come to my door when I was on the radio. I had people break into my car while I was on the radio. I had people walk into my house. Total strangers walk into my apartment while I'm on the radio. That wasn't funny. That was scary.
Drop them off.
I remember the time that I was on the show and I thought someone was trying to break into my house. They got something on like my door, trying to get like.
I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah, you remember that, right? I was like,
I
oh
remember
shit,
that.
because I just moved into the house and I was just like, okay.
Yeah, really jumped off. He got big. He's like, go out and see if they did. Hey, you look grown. Yeah. But yeah. You look grown.
So, what's the verdict on the
I mean,
Radio
you look
Shack?
grown as a grown person. You look grown.
What's the verdict on the Radio Shack converter?
You in the
for
service or what? What's that?
PlayStation 2 to USB?
Oh, you're not?
Does it work
Excuse me?
or what?
I don't know. I was looking at the Fighting Stick 3 to pick up for the computer. It's $40 on Amazon.
So are you gonna service? Oh, I'm good. What? I don't got that much
I just
time.
posted the link to it.
I'm 20 minutes.
Okay, let me take it.
Anyways, what you guys talking about?
You're talking about GGPO, man.
GTP. Oh yeah, yo, it's a great program. I tried it out yesterday, man. Very great program. It's like
thank
way
you.
better than the Carrera bullshit.
That's right.
I mean, let's hope that like the Carrera Warriors or Legends or whatever they are.
Hello, Warriors.
Don't try to have that.
Oh
Don't try to
man,
have-
can we not open that can of worms tonight? Can we not?
No. Someone explain. I never heard about this. What is this?
Oh man.
Dean, go ahead and tell it. Go ahead and tell it.
I ain't telling nobody nothing. I ain't saying nothing. I don't want TK, to like PM me to my, call me a
Listen,
faggot.
all these
Stay off
online players, they challenged Arturo to a match online. He said bring it in real life, and they pussied out. Simple as
Nah,
that.
hold on. Nah, the fact is, no, it's just, like, I understand you pussy out, but, the location was at T8, and the dude lives like a block away. He could walk there.
Yeah, he just wants to sit
And
behind
he-
a computer screen.
He could basically walk there. And if you could walk for a tournament and knowing you could beat someone for free money, would you do it?
Yeah.
No, it's free, right?
Okay.
If it's free.
Sounds like Counter-Strike players.
Sounds like everyone on the internet.
Man, I mean, I read
Yeah.
the thread in question, and indeed there were some comments made that didn't make any sense, And I mean,
tell him, Bunk, tell him the one that when he said he doesn't want to play for money because he's already caked up.
yeah, he was like, well, first of all, what was kind of interesting is like when we was talking about the thread, I saw that T. Kamir was in the Capcom channel, and I messaged him. I said, hey, listen, do you want to come on and talk about this? He's like, it's all done now. I'm banned. I'm like, well, it's done on the forum, it may be, but it ain't done on the radio. then all of a sudden out of nowhere he goes like, you tell D Nice to keep his what do you say, keep his faggot mouth closed or something or something or nothing.
Did I? No, I did not. I have an outgoing text. No, that ain't me. I ain't trying to call nobody. Talking about call me ASAP. I don't even say the word ASAP.
I vote D Nice most likely.
I don't even say. Hold on, I'm not calling you out. Hold on 1 second. I ain't say ASAP. I would never say ASAP.
You get beat up by Wookie?
ASAP. What I
Oh, that reminds me.
My son is acting up. Call me now. Call me
Wait, what's
now.
the number? What's the number say?
641.
That's not my number. Ooh. Nope.
What number is that?
Yup. See, don't try to blame me for everything. Don't try to blame me. Can I have an apology? Can you please go on your knees and apologize?
Alright.
No, just go on your knees and
How many is there?
It's 6.
What the
Wait,
fuck?
5. I'm wrong. I can't count. I'm counting her. I counted her. Oh, so what girl? Oh. What would they jump? So how's Reggie gonna get here? Oh, he can walk home. He lives right down the block. Call that.
By the way, people, I forgot to tell you what happened to me earlier yesterday. All right, I was talking to my mom on Skype. I called her because I was busy working on my webpage, and okay, I was not paying attention when I was clicking the links, and so I'm in the middle of talking to her. And I'll just tell you what happens. I wasn't paying attention, and all of a sudden this started playing.
Ass, titties, ass and titties, ass, titties, ass and titties, ass, titties.
Yeah, that we had a conversation. By the way, Tom, Tony, you get I wouldn't be surprised if someone uses that as their intro music.
Don't she look grown?
What is going on?
You smell like Denny's. Damn.
Hey, D-Nice, maybe you give us a call back when you ain't so distracted.
Oh, I ain't distracted. I'm just saying it's random. It's just random right now, man. Anyway, I'm just calling, just to see what's up. I know Ponder was going to be on to talk about the GGPO, actually. But it's just a good time for me to get on. But I was just going to say my point, yo. It's a great system, and, it's like no lag whatsoever. Scoot over. It's like no lag whatsoever.
All right, sweet. Glad to hear it.
Yeah, man.
Still haven't tried it yet.
So what's going on in Evo North?
Yeah, where's the updates?
I ain't there. What'd you ask me for?
I ain't there either.
Justin won Marvel 2.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God,
Justin
my
wins
God,
Marvel
that
vs.
news.
Capcom 2.
Oh, my God. I gotta tell everybody that he won Marvel. Alright, so who won Super Turbo, though?
Super Turbo is Sunday.
It's still being played?
It's Sunday.
Oh.
They had Anniversary Edition and Dream Theater one. Jason Wilson.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
I knew that.
So has anyone seen Alex Valle? Like, anybody?
Oh, I know he's been playing Gears of War. I like.
Watch where you stepping, dude. Why? Do I see new shoes? Like mine?
I had his phone number too. Hold on for a second. Let's see here.
Shut up, Flamingo.
You guys!
Be nice. One of them women gonna stab you one of these days. I'm just letting you know.
Who? Me?
I vote you the most likely to get stabbed by a woman to death.
Who? What, me? What the hell? What I do to women? I don't do nothing to women. I just, I just speak my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, how long you gonna plan to run the radio?
Not sure.
Alright, like probably in an hour and a half I'll get home and I'll get on Skype. Cause right now I'm about to get some grub. So actually on my way home I'll call back.
Okay then, man.
Alright, peace.
Peace. Dang it. I sure don't.
So do you guys actually make, this is changing the subject drastically, do you guys actually make like a significant amount of money back off of the Evolution DVDs?
I have no idea. Tom, do we make any money off this? I suspect no, because I haven't seen any. Either we make no money or they're holding out on me.
No, not really. Yeah, so not really. I mean, DVDs are pretty profitable if you can make like millions of them, or
Right.
thousands of them. But I mean, just like the cost to press a small amount of DVDs, and then you want to sell them at, you don't want to have people paying like $80 for a DVD. So they make like basically enough to keep SRK in business.
Ah.
That plus like the Google ads on the side of the bar cover pretty much the hosting costs.
Let me ask
Yeah,
you, if I can ask one question. This is just slightly off kill question. Like, since both of you are married, which I didn't know, what do your wives think about what you guys do? Like, as far as Evolution is concerned.
I gotta go. Sorry. Later.
I think
I gotta go.
yeah. Why do you have to go, Ink? Yeah.
Dinner date. I gotta go.
Tell Ann hi.
Yeah.
Well, that ought to tell you, right?
Okay.
No, I mean, like, my wife doesn't care. I mean, we have hobbies, right? It's not like I'm pouring any money into it, right? Since we got sponsors, and actually, for a couple years now, even if we didn't have Toyota, right, we would just scale it down a lot more, like it used to be. We haven't had to put too much money up front in. There's a little bit up front because you kind of have to work with the hotel and put in a deposit, and then, you know, but then the cover generally, you know, makes it so that we're not into our pocket too much. So, you know, it's not like it's a big money sink, or, you know, I think wives in general kind of look around and see, you know, your guy could really be into cars and spend thousands of dollars doing that, or he could be into football and, you know,
You're not
spend
into
every
football?
weekend. I watch football, but I'm not going to spend every weekend with like 10 guys in a bar. And so, you know, from her perspective, it's like, you know, one day a year we'll go to Vegas and she'll hang out and, you know, do the pool and the spa and we'll have dinner together. But otherwise, she doesn't care. It's a vacation for her. And then, you know, a couple other times a year, I'll just go to LA or something and hang out with a bunch of guys, which, you know, she doesn't care. So, you know, they're pretty understanding. Not a big deal. Now, if I was, like, actually trying to compete in being in, like, Sunnyvale Golfland or some guy's garage where he's got his cabinet and stuff, you know, 20 hours a week or whatever it takes, you know, to be really good, then I think there'd be a problem, right? But that doesn't happen, so it's pretty easy, right?
No, it's interesting though, because, you know, it's, I mean, even though that you're, you know, not a serious gamer, you know, there's so few, you know, of the well-known gamers are actually married. So it's kind of, I just like to know how it is, you know. I don't know how much, you know, Evolution really consumes of your time. It looks like it doesn't consume very much of it, so I think that's a good thing. So.
Yeah, the day-to-day, you know, what would you say, like planning and organizing and coordinating with Toyota and all that stuff is done these days almost entirely by Tom, Seth, and Joey. So, you know, I just make brackets and run tournaments when the day comes around. So it's very lightweight for me. And, you know, do some of the stuff on the website, like online registration and stuff. I'm like the IT guy, I guess. So, yeah, it's and don't get me wrong, it's a lot of time, but it's not like time away from, you know, family or anything, because, you know, I can do this sort of on the side, you know, during my lunch hour at work, and then there's the tournament itself. So, yeah, it works out pretty well.
Let me say, you, first of all, like, you know, how does it What is a day life? What is a day like in the life of a programmer? Because that's what you do, right? You're a programmer of some sort.
Yep. I guess it depends, right? So a day is sort of weird, but like the job itself is sort of, it goes in cycles where, when the beginning of a release, whatever you're working on, when it's a lot of design and kind of work, you can only program so fast before you start screwing up,
crazy.
right? You've got to do a lot of things. Well, not only going crazy, right? Because the more time you spend in front of the keyboard, the worse your quality gets, right? But if you program too fast, you end up, and good programmers really realize this, right? You end up writing a bunch of code that you just have to throw away later when you realize everything you wrote was wrong.
And you waste
So
so much time.
Yeah. So in the beginning of a cycle, you're spending most of your time, like in front of a whiteboard or just talking to people, working a reasonable week, just like, not really writing much code, just kind of thinking, bouncing ideas off. And then that'll pick up. And when you get into beta or release or close to release, you might start burning the midnight oil and, a couple nights you'll be working late, fixing bugs and stuff. But it's very cyclical. It's not like, a 9-to-5 job where, you kind of got your work in front of you and it's the same every day, right? It goes in these big waves of lots and lots of work with lots and lots of downtime.
I'm kind of envious of you, not because I understand programmers, they have crunch times and everything, and that's the flip side of it. But I do like the fact that every day, it's its own day. It doesn't get like monotonous, like day after day, it's just the same thing over and over again. And that's one of the reasons why I'm considering, going like over into a role like this. It's not because of the role itself; it's because what it could lead into. Because my job right now at Bank of America, for those of you who don't know, I turned down the branch manager position because the very fact there is so much pressure on you, more pressure than I got even at my last job. There, you have to perform or you will lose your job. That's like because there's always someone nipping at your heels trying to get your position. And Bank of America, they cannot merge with any more banks. So they're literally the only way to to get new customers is to basically market your behind off and hopefully steal it from your competition. But Bank of America's they don't have a free checking account, not really anyway. Not without any strings attached. And a lot of people balk at now paying for a checking account. So it's a very hard sell. It's a very hard sell.
We had that conversation last time I was on the radio.
What?
We had that conversation the last time I was on the radio because I looked at my checking account and realized I was paying money for it and said, "Fuck this."
Yeah, it's just anything. Bank of America is a business bank. It's a bank for businesses, large and small. Most businesses, like including Safeco, they have relationships with Bank of America, and Bank of America does all their treasury services. Like when you send your money payments in, Safeco doesn't process. Actually, the bank processes it for them. And they do the back end on that, and they post the payments to your account and all of that stuff. So, that's really it. I mean, Bank of America has so many businesses that they do, and that they make a lot of money because on commercial accounts they get charged for every single transaction. It's only like 10 cents or 18 cents, but every single transaction they get charged for, whether it's a deposit or withdrawal, even getting change, you get charged for it. That's just how it is. But they make so much money that they don't really need to depend on the consumer as far as like going up. They don't need to like tantalize you with free checkings account or anything like that. It's just they have a few good programs, but most of it is a very hard sell. And that position, I just did not want the pressure. My boss, he has to deal with so much, and I will go crazy. I don't do well under pressure, unfortunately. That's just my personality. But in this new role, it wouldn't be so much as a sales role. It's just operations, and just because basically I'd be the liaison between Safeco and banks. I'm like, I do that all the time, just on the other side. So, but anyway, that's kind of cool though. I mean, I envy you that every day is different. Because I can't remember which one of you. One of you works for VMware, right? And the other works for IBM.
The other works for VMware too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's I mean, talking about. Oh, okay, that's cool. By the way, could you explain? I actually heard about VMware not terribly long ago, because when I was trying to learn Linux, and I was like, well, how do I, what's the option I have, if I don't really particularly care for dual booting, and they say VMware is like the best solution out there, but can you explain to people what exactly VMware is?
Right. So you can think simply let you run multiple operating systems on the same computer at the same time. So it's like an emulator, right? So, when you're playing GGPO, you've got essentially a little CPS2 cabinet in software, right? Mm-hmm. And if you are as old as I am, you remember when this was really hard because your computer wasn't actually fast enough to emulate CPS2, mm-hmm. because, it's just, you're essentially every computer instruction, because your computer is an Intel chip, right? CPS2 has a bunch of chips in it, some of which are made by IBM, it's a Motorola, some of which are made by, different companies. And so instead of running one native instruction, like one sort of IBM instruction, you've got to translate it to a bunch of Intel instructions. That's emulation, right? So you get this huge slowdown when you emulate, which is why until recently, you couldn't really play emulators that well on your computer. But now your computer's so fast it doesn't matter. So virtualization is like emulation, except instead of taking an instruction and then running it in software, you actually run it on the hardware. So your processor, it's kind of like when you're running multiple programs, except you're running multiple whole operating systems. So we have a product called VMware Workstation, which is sort of like the end user version, where you can actually install this application like you install an emulator, and then you can bring up all these virtual machines and install Windows in one or Linux in another, And so that sounds really geeky and really, why would I ever use this? One reason is, if you, as an end user, if you want to play with Linux and you've got a Windows box, or more recently, if you wanted to play with Vista, Microsoft said, in order to install Vista, you really should format your disk and do a clean install. And it's like, what? Format my disk? So you can install Vista in a VM, right? And then just have your little Vista box and put it full screen, and it's like you're running Vista, except it's like you can just throw it away when you're done with it. But yeah, so that's just kind of for an end user. We make all our money in sort of the enterprise so Windows sucks. It sucks so badly that people who run Microsoft application services, like their Exchange server or their SQL database or whatever, run one application per computer. Because if you run too many applications on Windows, they'll start interfering with each other, and Windows will fall over, and they'll all die. Right? So generally, if you have say, I don't know, 100 applications in your business unit, you'll have 100 of these little boxes all lined up, and they're all running at 10% or 5% CPU, because there's just not much.
Is that the reason why Linux dominates as far as the operating system for commercial type?
It's one of the reasons. Yeah, people say total cost. It's complicated, but yeah, Linux is much better at what it does. If you look at how a Linux box running Apache as a web server will perform compared to a Microsoft box running their equivalent. What's it called? I don't even remember. The Linux one generally does way better, right? But so what people use VMware for then is, instead of having 20 boxes, they have 20 virtual machines on one box. Right, so you have 20 computers all running at 5% CPU, or you could have one computer running at 100% CPU, and right, so that saves them a ton of money, because each box costs them on power and costs them on cooling, and you've seen images these huge rooms with all these racks of computers with
Right.
the fake floor and the air conditioner that's like at 500 decibels and stuff, right? So they can shrink that down, by like a factor of 20 in some cases and have, much cheaper just infrastructure stuff there.
So let me ask you a
Right.
question. For us, none for those you have that. I like that you have that geeky mind, but you can put things in layman's terms. Like, is the PlayStation 3, is that their super processor, their 8 microprocessor, is that a bunch of bullshit, or is it actually useful? Like the way the PlayStation 3 is designed. With,
I don't know. It depends on what you want to do with it. So you can think of the PlayStation 3, and I'm not that familiar with the architecture, but I kind of know the basics. It's a bunch of little chips that are really good at doing parallel computations. So, like, if you have a ton of stuff to compute, then, it's really good. So if you're like, suppose you have a physics simulation, and you have, all this funky animation where you're doing, like, smooth calculations of your models, and you've got, like, this river with these flowing waves and all this other stuff, and you've got stuff that you can easily chop up into, like, different computations and put them each on a processor, then it's really good at that, right? So it's really good at writing demos. But, like, if you're writing, suppose you're doing, like, I don't know, a fighting game, for lack of a better term, right? That doesn't really have much computation that you can break up. Actually, a better example is something like, I don't know, but, like, it's very hard for some games to come up with, these little discrete chunks of work that you can put on a processor, right? You can kind of put, like, all the rendering there, and maybe all the sound processing there, and the physics there, but then for your actual game logic and your AI, you've got these little crappy processors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of harder to program for, and I mean, the alternative is, instead of having all these little vector units, right, just give someone a couple big processors to work with, and that's what the Xbox 360 does, right? And that's much easier to program for because people are used to having one big processor, and you just write kind of straight line code, and it can, the big processors do more than the little processors, so maybe it's as good. And but I don't really know. When people get up to speed on the PlayStation 3, maybe the games will look like 20% better than the Xbox, but it's kind of
I
marketing.
hear a lot of mixed reviews about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to read it, but it's definitely not for the light, faint-hearted, because a lot of it is very technical minded. But I understand that from what I understand of it is that some people like for example, it's kind of interesting because Square Enix, I guess the CEO of Square Enix says that the PlayStation 3 is over-engineered. Is like for what it does, what its primary function is for games, because most games don't need 8 separate processors for it, and so forth and so on, and that's not how games are really made, and so it's unnecessarily complex. That's what I got out of it. I don't know how accurate I was, but that's because I was just wondering though, because I know that they want this system to last like 10 years, which I at this point I don't see it lasting 5, but
Right.
but I mean, so apparently they've been promising that once the ball gets rolling on these big processors, that it's gonna blow you away and everything, and
Yeah, but do you remember a while ago they said that a lot of them are faulty?
Really?
Yeah, a lot of the processors were faulty, but they could still release them with the system because the games themselves weren't using the full processor anyway.
Nice.
Wow, that's
That's awesome.
Excellent news right there. More confidence in the PlayStation 3.
Yeah, there was a big article about it.
By the way, let me ask you a question. For those of us who are more computer savvy, like, where do you think, like, as far as computers are concerned, like, they're, quad core. I can't believe it. For some reason, I don't know what's going on in the computer industry, but for some reason, it's like this whole processor war has gotten out of control between Intel and AMD.
AMD.
I mean, quad core. Who the hell uses a quad? Who's going to use a quad core processor for? I have
Mr.
no
Blizzard
idea. I
has
mean, it's
Hey,
like
I'll use it.
He's always searching for McRibs, so that's one.
Yeah, he's got their McRib coprocessor there.
Yeah, dude, for real.
you know, it's interesting though because they're talking about before the end of next year that we're going to see, 8 cores on one die. They're saying.
Awesome.
I'm like, but that goes back to what I was saying before. That's so needlessly. I mean, from what I understand, it is someone. I mean, I can't remember the site that I saw it is, but there's a site on the internet where it breaks down into layman terms, and they say that the having multiple processors, like 5 people lifting up something heavy. It's very easy if it's 5 people doing it as opposed to 1. So there's the leverage of having 5 people, but at the same time, though, he says that games aren't made, for, as what I guess they call it, multi-threaded, processor. They're mainly made for just, the graphics.
Oh, not yet.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though, because they're saying, not yet, but dual core has been on the market for like 2 years now, and they still aren't really any. And I shouldn't say any. But
No, there are some games that have optimizations for multi-core now.
World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft. Why does it not surprise me?
On the Mac, yeah.
Why does
Actually,
it not surprise
I'm out of World of Warcraft. Too much
Huh?
time. Yeah.
After watching I've been watching World of Warcraft for 2 days now, like the PvP portion, because I've been watching WSVG. That is the most boring thing to watch in the world.
Yeah, I gotta agree with
Yeah,
that.
you can tell that
it's really
basically-
boring to play, too, frankly.
You can tell that basically Blizzard, all that money made them pretty much pick it up. It's really boring.
I think most like CGS is having a 2v2 tournament, WSVG has 3v3. I think they're picking it up because they know there's 8 million people that play the game that they're thinking they're gonna watch the whole. They're gonna watch.
Yeah, they
it.
keep forgetting that everybody that plays the game, that's all they do is play the game. They're not gonna be watching shit.
Yeah, and most of the people that play it don't do PvP. They do just like regular, like they raid dungeons and shit like that. So I don't know.
If you guys for those of you that tuned in Thursday, you know that there was a big discussion on our local radio station here in Seattle about World of Warcraft because it's been used as the poster boy for video game addiction. I still stand by what I said before. I think that that it's a symptom. Video games addiction is a symptom, not a problem in itself. If you want to hide in the alternate world, most likely there's something in the real world that ain't right. So that's why I'll leave it at. But I personally,
Maybe they just like being orcs.
huh?
So maybe they just like being orcs.
Being what?
Orcs.
Orcs. Oh, I never played the game, so I don't even know. It's kind of funny because they interviewed.
Don't
the
play,
doctor.
okay?
It's kind of funny because they had a doctor they was interviewing, and the doctor was talking about technical stuff about the game that the doctor must have been playing it because she knew how how the guilds work and stuff, and some of the different classes of humanoids you could play as or something and other. You know what? I am never getting back into massive online RPGs. PSO was my last straw on that because that almost took my life. So I'm not going back into that.
They have casual games though, because a lot of people just think about the addictive game. There's casual games too.
I don't want to.
Alright.
I don't want to. I don't know. I don't know if I could really play a game like PSO casually. When I was into it at first. The first time I played PSO, I wasn't even realized that I played it for 14 hours straight. I thought that it was Wednesday when it was like Thursday night. Yeah.
It's really about how they design the game though. They usually design the game so it actually kind of like forces you to play like really hardcore.
So, Kai, did you hear about Manhunt 2?
Yeah, I heard about it. I've been keeping up with the news. I knew it was, like, when I first heard it got banned, I said, well, they're going to cancel the game now. And then the adult-only rating.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Hey, let me ask you a question. You know what? Tony, you still there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you a question. Did you? I don't know if you ever listened to the show before. I don't think so. But I had a segment on. I was talking about Manhunt 2. Have you heard much about that game?
No.
Okay, in the game, Manhunt is it's a really graphic game,
Mhm.
But in the Wii version, I don't know if on the PlayStation 2, but in the Wii version, like you could take like a pair of pliers and you can like rip someone's balls off along with their vertebrae.
Wow.
And then you can use a hacksaw and you can like cut into someone's shoulder down to the groin. It's like really really graphic to the point of
That sounds like it'd be time consuming.
yeah. In fact, they said that that the remote, you gotta use the remote to actually perform the actions, like with the saw thing. You gotta like wiggle the remote back and forth for the sawing motion and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
So let me ask you,
That's great.
do you think that's going too far?
No. I mean, if it has an adult rating on it and somebody actually wants to saw someone like that, I mean, a lot of these things, you don't really take it seriously, right?
Oh well, Tony, there's one big problem. Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, they will not release games on their console if it's adult rated.
Oh, well, then that's a bad business decision to make one. But
Then what's the point of having the adult-only rating if?
For porn games and stuff like that, for PC and whatnot.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe someone will make a really popular adult-only rating, and they'll make a lot of money off of it.
People are saying that they hope this opens up the adult-only genre, that someone like a console
Honestly,
decides to.
Microsoft could really get Rockstar because they're the only console that wasn't scheduled for Manhunt, and if they can remove their ban on adult-only games, they can kind of just come out of nowhere and backdoor and take the game.
You know what?
Yeah.
I think they have the adult only. I think the reason why Nintendo and Sony were against it is because I think they wanted to guard themselves from lawsuits.
Pretty much.
I could see them getting sued for that game being on their systems, and
Because
not that the suits would have any merit. It really that's besides the point. It's just it'd be a black eye for them, PR wise. I think.
Because then there's movies that go rated R and then they have like an unrated version, and they can be put on stores because it says unrated, so it doesn't have a rating. Why don't games do that?
Well, they have to. Well, I think. Well, you know what?
Because the console has to license, they have to be licensed to use the console.
But you know what? I think that they don't want to do an unrated title or a section because the games are primarily marketed towards young people, so they don't want games that come out there where it's not rated and you just don't know what's in it. So they, from my understanding, that every game goes to their, I guess it's called the ESRB rating system, and
Yeah, they have to be rated.
they have to be rated. So.
Yeah. The tricky thing there is because games are seen as a childish endeavor and they're marketed at minors and blah blah blah. The game industry is worried that if they don't regulate themselves, that Congress will come in and regulate them, and then it'll be all sorts of craziness about you can't buy a game without a driver's license proving you're above 17 or permission from your parent or some other. Right? No one wants to be regulated by Congress. So. And, of course, nobody wants, the bad PR of, this is the console where you hack people up, hacksaw people and rip off their genitals, and, how is this entertaining? There's no way to defend that as entertaining in an industry targeted at, young adults. So, I don't know, Take-Two, they need to just go under or something. They've made some really poor decisions. I don't think they've made a good decision since, GTA 3, really. As far as, how they market their games, how they cover their screw-ups, and the sort of games they're developing, right? So I can understand why nobody wants to go to bat for Manhunter. It's just another PR nightmare waiting to happen.
Yeah, plus, you know what? It's one of those things where I don't know if Take-Two Interactive. I don't know if the company is privately held or public or publicly traded, because one of the things I learned by working with the bank is that any event that a company that's publicly traded does something that can significantly, affect the company in a negative way, like a bad PR or something like that, that the stockholders can actually sue the company for billions of dollars, if that was the case, and that's actually happened. I forgot the name of the company that was just sued by the shareholders themselves, but it can happen. And I was gonna say is I wouldn't be surprised if like some execs aren't dismissed, after this, because they spent all this money developing this game, and now it won't be released. So all the money.
I think they'll probably go back and censor some stuff and try to get it redone again.
Yeah, but that means just more time. Yeah, you're right. They just go back and censor it. Although it's not as easy to do as in the movie.
I don't even think they're gonna censor. I think may just have to redo the entire game and look at that
because
for
it's not like a
programmers.
movie. It's not like you can cut the part out,
Yeah.
So
You have to go back into the code and take parts out, and the programmers are like the people that are getting the worst.
The game, and it's kind of because you already remade the game, because apparently, the PlayStation 2 version you can't do like as graphic as you can on the Wii version, but but now they're going to remake it. But I thought it was a bad idea.
It's not noise.
I thought it was a really bad idea to make that game. Period. Because I think that's
it's sad because I thought the first Manhunt, I really liked it a lot. So I was hoping it'll be something similar, but they went too far.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, why? Because it wouldn't just be a PR nightmare for the game companies, but it'd just be a PR nightmare for all of us gamers. Because after all, the Virginia Tech shootings just are still fresh on people's minds. We don't need to like give them any fodder to really use against us as gamers, And can you imagine they would use Manhunt 2 and use that as like describe all
Jack
games.
Thompson would be doing backflips.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hey, you know what's funny? Actually, I read an article from Jack Thompson about the Manhunt 2, and it was actually
He can't talk about it. He can't. He can't.
Oh, that's right. He's on the court orders. He can't talk about it because that was the settlement that he had with
Take Two.
Well, he had praised the rating system, and he finally admitted that most of the games on the market weren't bad.
I remember he wrote a letter to Bill Gates about Halo 3, and that was hilarious.
Yeah, I was laughing really hard at that one. Is there even any blood in the game? And he's like fucking complaining.
Blood, like from aliens and from freaking cyborg. Like it's stupid. It's a game. I don't know. I try to stop talking about him because it's just.
You know how I would explain it though? I would explain it as this. You know what? The difference between Manhunt and Halo 3, besides the graphic part, but in Halo 3 or any fighting game or first-person shooter, it's not about how you kill the person. It's just that you could just, instead of just shooting them with a gun, you could just throw grape at them and they could have the same effect. You know what I'm saying? They'll die, and then the game starts over again, or you get a point and they get it's not about that. But in Manhunt 2, it's all about how you kill your victim. It's like the act of actually doing it and taking a pair of pliers and pulling somebody's test. I mean, come on, man, that's retarded. That's retarded.
Yeah.
I think that's just
That TV is really loud.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you. Hold on 1 second.
I can picture them in a boardroom talking about Manhunt 2. Like sitting there like little kids discussing how they're gonna do the game.
Yeah, man, let's just go. In fact, let's just use a pair of pliers. You can whip someone's testicles off. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? Jeez.
Like the one guy just stand up and say, "Hey, wait a minute, that's a little too far for a fucking game."
It just shows you how screwed up some people are. Because remember when Kyrie was talking about this last time? I said, why don't they just do it with kids? Like, oh no, don't do it with kids. That's wrong. In other words, it's okay to do that stuff to adults, just don't do it to kids. Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
I mean, like in the first Manhunt, you can actually see a lot of things. You can say the same stuff and whatnot, but it still was like a certain style to it, where it felt like one of those old school movies,
right?
Where you kind of like, all right, yeah, it's fucked up, but it's like you can still see it as as like a tribute to those type of movies and whatnot, like Running Man and whatnot. But this one, I just look at it, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This guy just doing some really violent shit, and I just doesn't really.
It's because in the first game, it really was about the storyline. It's just like Silence of the Lambs or some of the other movies that are out there that were really graphic for their time, but it wasn't really all about what Hannibal Lecter did. It was the storyline, that gripped people and everything. My mom she was terrified actually after she saw Silence of the Lambs when she learned that Hannibal Lecter really existed, and he's loose somewhere. So he might be dead by now, but he was loose for no one has been able to catch him. So I mean, but in Manhunt 1, it's like that reminded me of those old. There was a movie called Manhunter. You remember that movie? You want to remember that movie?
Yeah, I remember that movie.
I think that's what they were trying to actually. Without infringing on a trademark, but it sounded like that's exactly what kind of movie or game they was trying to make it into, and I thought the concept was cool, but like I said, the second game they took it way too far.
Well, I heard that the second game has a really dark story and that the violence fits the story, but it doesn't mean that they had to go that far,
Right.
It's just one way to do something, and there's another way, and they just did it the completely wrong way.
I don't know. I don't know. Even if the game was released, I think that would have been a bad idea. Bad idea.
It would have been a good idea money-wise, probably, but all that publicity. If they didn't get banned, but just got the bad publicity, it would have still been good publicity for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right, but at the same time, though, like I said, the timing of it would be all wrong. I mean. Like I said, the Virginia Tech shooters was just, and not only that, but now they found, there's like copycats of people doing the same thing in schools, and and all these gruesome crimes have been happening as of late. I don't think it's really like a good idea to be putting out a game like that, because you don't want them using that to describe it. It's like, this is what games are nowadays. You'd be like, shit, look where we're at now. Because I don't want to be presenting the ID when I start, buying my games, and stuff like that. I gotta get carded for alcohol. I don't even drink.
Hey, I was trying to convince Tragic to talk to somebody in Namco about Weapon Lord.
Weapon, oh my god.
Hey man, he can go tell people Weapon Lord 2, man. That's what we need.
You know what?
We need something to.
You know what? And going to some cloud talk for a second. Is there any way to get back that feeling we had when we first played like some of the games on the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo? Like we was about this a little bit last night, but like I remember getting shivers down my spine when I first played Zelda: Link to the Past, and the very beginning of the game when you go out there, lightning and thunder, and you go to the castle and everything. That was like, it was so awesome. It's fucking unbelievable.
The last time that I got those shivers, the very last time was playing Mario 64. That first time.
Yeah, I mean, what does it take to get like those shivers again?
I got it playing Gears of War. If that counts.
Last time I got him was playing Halo 2 for the first time.
You guys are punks.
Yo, Gears of War was good, man. You play the single player.
How you get shivers
it's really
playing a
good.
freaking first-person shooter in the year 2006 or 7 or anything? Or what? That's fucking ridiculous.
Gears of War isn't a first-person shooter. That's why it was something unique.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was good, man. Like I haven't I never really got that like last time I got that first-person shooter was like Quake, but with Gears of War it was like because I usually when you play a first-person shooter you always you care about the multiplayer. The single player you're like whatever, but like that was like the first game in a while where I really got to the single player.
With Halo 2, I cared more about the single player than I did the multiplayer in the beginning. I like the story, so.
I can't even remember it with a fucking role-playing game. I think maybe I don't know what, Zelda probably.
7.
Nah, well,
I don't
actually
like
no.
Final Fantasy games.
Actually, no. Last time I felt I was having
Secret
like
of Mana.
Dragon Quest 8. I was,
Secret of Mana for me.
hold up,
Chrono
Cope is-
Trigger.
Cope is challenging me. Wait, hold up.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting though because I mean, like I said, I don't know if we're ever gonna get those feelings back again. I mean, it's kind of
Gotta
funny.
download the
though.
old school games, man.
Is it just because games were so new to us, or what do you, or you think it's just something intrinsically linked to the quality of games nowadays?
It might be because, honestly, how many games do you get to play these days? Like, how many games have you gotten to try? You know what I mean? Like, we're not really like in it like we used to be.
That's true. That's
It
part
might
of
be
it.
games out there that might give you that feeling again. You just haven't had the chance to actually play them.
That's true, but I just
It's so
don't
hard
wanna-
to
I just
it's so
don't
hard
wanna
to find these
spend-
single player games.
I just don't want to spend $400 to $600. Try, goodness gracious, man.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Hey, Tony, if you're still there,
Yep.
you have a programmer's mind. So, part of being programmer is being able to fix problems. If you're the CEO of Sony, what would you do to?
Oh, you giving him a lot of fucking problems right there.
I was like, what would you do to try to fix the hole that the PlayStation?
You might as well make him
3 is
George
in?
Bush, man.
Fix exactly what? Their online game
how would
division,
you? The PlayStation 3 is failing horribly. A few weeks ago, the Game Boy Micro outsold the PlayStation 3.
Sweet.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you fix that? So Sony has a lot of problems. The problems that Sony has are institutionalized. Like, this is the company that I'm too old for this. You guys don't remember, but AT&T invents the transistor, and Sony invents the Walkman. Right? It's like, this is the company that took, that they were the innovators. They were, they made the shit that everybody wanted with really high quality, right? And now they make televisions that people don't want to buy because they're too expensive and they're not that much better or even as good as what other people give. They have their media division, which has the most or the second most amount of music, movies, media stuff at their disposal, and they're getting their ass kicked by Apple and iTunes and all these people because the people who made the Walkman don't have an MP3 player or something where you can download the media that they own. It's like ridiculous. They have so many problems. The game division is just another one of those things where they're institutionally screwed. Right? I mean, what they should have done was either what Nintendo is doing is make the thing really cheap with all the games that people want to play. Right? They had every developer locked up, right, with the PlayStation 2. They had Square, they had Capcom, they had all this exclusive content, and all they had to do was release another console that was slightly better or even twice as good, but not this beast with 8 processors in it, right? And lock all those people in to make games for it, and they would win.
All I could say is $600, and that half the world's just
Exactly.
like, hell no.
Right. So what do they do? How do you fix this? I don't know. You find the publishers again, and you give them a big share of the profits for exclusive deals, and you I don't know, $600. How do you fix that? You kind of can't. I mean,
okay. What do you think about my idea? Was for them to build I would say, I don't know. I know people don't like this idea, but I think that Sony should build a PlayStation 3 without the Blu-ray and sell it for $250.
So I don't know that the Blu-ray costs $300.
Well, they
parts.
lose. Well, that's
So I think when they're at this point, they've invested so much in the form factor they have now that you don't want to change the form factor. And so Blu-ray gives you storage for content for games. That's kind of nice, right? I think they're at the point now where they should invest all they have in, getting a cheaper manufacturing. Right? This thing's happened. The PS2 comes out and it costs them $200 to build, and now a PS2 costs them like 15 cents to build. Right? Just because they combine chips using better manufacturing techniques and blah blah. So they should get the PlayStation down that way in price, because you don't want like 2 different PlayStations on the market, one with Blu-ray, one without. Then no one will make Blu-ray games, and that's one of the things that they actually have over the 360 is developers are claiming, I can't really I can't fit all my content into 4 gigs anymore, because you want me to have all these high-resolution textures and 10 hours of gameplay. It doesn't fit, right? So what do I do? But no, they shouldn't have had this stupid new unproven architecture, the cell, right? That was a mistake. That it's really hard to program for, and I don't know. I predicted this, by the way. I predicted that the PlayStation 3 would be horrible, and everybody I told this to said that I was smoking, but I get the last laugh.
Yeah, I got yelled at too for saying that.
Yeah.
I also said the online system was going to suck, and then people went on
It'll be the Wii, man. The Wii.
I mean, well, you know what the thing about it though is like, if anything, I was gonna say the reason why I said that they should make a. Well, no one will make it for Blu-ray. I just think that maybe what they should do is just differentiate. I know this means more cost, but I was like, maybe like for you get a few exclusives with the Blu-ray that you won't get on a DVD, or something like that.
Because then he's right though. If they do that, then they're gonna people are gonna start switching towards the cheaper system, and then they're gonna end up fucking the Blu-ray over.
But you know what? That's better than nothing, because at this point, I mean, it's not getting any better. I'm saying is if they
the only way to get it better, like you said, they're gonna need some more exclusive games and better games out. And the price, the system price, they have to find a way to make it cheaper. But going to a cheaper, like using just DVD and whatnot, it wouldn't be the right answer for them right now.
Well, people are saying that they're expecting the price drop by holiday season.
Well, okay, they already losing they said $300 on the console as it stands at $600. I don't understand how they're gonna. I mean, I guess they can do a price drop. I mean, after all, it's their money.
Well, because they make the money off the games anyway. That's where most of the money for most of the companies come from the games.
But that's true. But they sold so many systems that the games can't surely be making them enough money to cover for the amount of money.
I don't know with Sony though, because Sony doesn't actually have. Well, like Sony Computer Entertainment makes games, but I don't know how many they have on the market right now. Because they have to split it with other publishers or developers.
I'm just saying that I don't know, man. It's like this is how bad it is. If they don't catch up by, I would say, this time next year, I don't see them ever recovering.
As an eyewitness to the exorcism on Father Moore's
it's like, I mean,
well, I know that they have a plan already. They want to release 380 new games by March.
Yeah, but if the Wii and the 360 keeps on doing well, especially what they're saying is that if they keep on doing so successfully, I don't see, if I'm a game developer, I don't see why I want to. Even if you're gonna give me a bigger share of the profits, that's fine for your meager 2.2 million PlayStation 3 sold, as opposed to the 10 million that the Wii and the Xbox 360 is gonna have.
I don't know if the Wii's gonna be doing so good later, because I know Super Mario Galaxy, Brawl, and Metroid, but they don't have that many third-party developers. I know Guilty Gear's coming out and a bunch of other games, but I haven't seen any games from other developers. Like the 3 biggest games are all Nintendo products.
I kind of disagree because. Well, one thing the biggest thing against the Wii, the biggest strike against the Wii that really prevents it from being the perfect system is the fact that it has really no online presence at all.
Yeah.
That's the biggest.
Well, I think it's the online, and they are lacking games at the moment.
They are lacking games, but that's so expected because the system's only been out for 6 months, or I'm sorry, 7 months, or I guess 8 months now. But it's like, I mean, first year you really don't see that many games on new consoles anyway, that many must-have games. But I think that what they need to do is to have some type of online presence, and that's the biggest thing.
It should all be online. Come on, you can't see that online was the future. It doesn't make sense to me.
I don't understand why Nintendo has an infatuation with 16 letter codes to add people to a list.
Yeah, when I heard about the friend code, I'm like, oh, come on.
Because people like that. They ain't stupid. They know what people like.
No, it is stupid. It's very stupid. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, they people latch onto that shit, man.
Because they have to. That's why I'm telling you right now. They can just log on without having to worry about friend codes. They would
just like an account
be
name.
a lot easier, If you had to give like, I mean, it's just ridiculous.
talking
Like, I
about
can understand for the
Frank
handheld.
I thought you
Yeah.
were talking about something else. Yeah, Frank codes are garbage. Good shit.
What the fuck, man?
No, wait a minute. I missed you guys. What's the problem now?
Like the Wii's online way, they use friend code, which is like a combination of letters and numbers, so you can add someone to your list of friends. And it's not a very friendly way. It's not a very friendly way of like having online.
But I did hear good news. I heard they were trying to partner with GameSpy for Brawl or whatnot, and that would be okay.
Yeah. That'd be good.
If they can get that working good, that'll be awesome. That'll make the online a lot better. So there is hope for all you Wii fans.
Well, there's
still
another
hope for your
thing.
Wiis.
There's another thing about the Wii is that Nintendo stated that they're releasing another version of the Wii later on this year.
Man, what the fuck?
So we'll have to see.
That's what an awesome reaction. What the fuck was that?
Yo, this nigga did an alpha counter on me and did so much damage.
Yeah, Alpha
Was he
Counter was
playing
crazy
Ken?
in that game, man.
Nah, he got 8 on.
Oh. Yeah, Ken's Roundhouse Alpha Counter. Oh, it's like an inch.
I need to learn that game, man.
Yeah, who do we go to? Who are the Alpha 2 kings besides Valle? Who's the Alpha 2 heads?
Oh, the old school people? I don't know, all the names that you know and love. John Choi, Mike Watson, Jason
I saw the
Cole,
notes.
I would say, but Cole plays Dulcim, and A2 Dulcim is the worst Dulcim there's ever been.
Yeah, I tried Dawson and A2, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, all the old school people are good at Alpha 2. David Wright,
Long just
Mike
won.
Krecky, those guys are good, I think. Yeah, all the standard names. Justin Wong just won a tournament, beat David Serlin.
Mizuki says only problem with Brawl if it has GameSpy, it's going to cost. If they charge to play Brawl online, then no one's going to play it online.
I don't know.
Yes.
It depends on how much they charge. 'Cause we all pay for live, right?
Yeah, that's true, but for one
Yeah, but
game,
it's unlimited, yeah.
Well,
If
yeah,
they
if it's
start-
only, I don't know. One
if
game,
they start using GameSpy for all the games, then maybe. But I don't
didn't
know. If,
Nintendo stated that they were not going to charge anyone for playing their games online?
Yeah, but if they're partnered with GameSpy, Nintendo really can't have too much say in that, Because GameSpy will run it on their server.
But that's a first party game though. That's what I'm saying. That still be kind of going back on what they said.
Well, I don't know. GameSpy, I know they don't really. I know as far as prices go, they aren't too bad, but I don't know about one game though.
Nintendo should just pay them a boatload of money and tell them to shut the hell up.
They charge like $3 or some shit like that for like the regular online stuff.
It's kind of funny that you hear that Nintendo's net market worth it's only $3 billion lower than Sony's now. Because I think like Nintendo's like $51 billion and Sony's like 54. I'm going interesting because.
Well, here's the thing: that Sony they do all different type of electronics, but Nintendo is all their gaming products. So it's like they're getting beat out by guys that aren't even like in the same category as them as far as the other electronics go.
Nintendo, you know why? Because, by the way, you know what? It's one of the things. Hey, let me ask Tony about this. Hey, it's like, do you think it was? What do you think of Nintendo's decision as to not invest in in some serious architecture as far as the brains of the Wii is concerned? It's just a more advanced version of the chip that was used in the GameCube. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. You hear game companies complaining that the cost to generate a game keeps going up, and that means the risk goes up. And when the risk goes up, you can't make, a new game. You can't try a new genre, right? Because if you're putting down 7 figures on the line, and if the game sells, 10,000 copies, you fire the game studio closes, right? So. And Nintendo's strategy isn't about. First of all, GameCube games look pretty good. They're like the 16-bit equivalent of the modern 16-bit games. Zelda's. It's cute. It's not realistic, but it looks good enough. And their strategy isn't about wowing you with graphics and immersing you in virtual reality. It's about going after casual, gamers, your mom, your girlfriend, your grandparents, and you don't need a lot of, the more processing power you throw at developers, the more they're trying to justify using it so their game is better than the other games, and then they spend less time on gameplay, they can't take risks, I don't know, it doesn't make sense. It's harder to make those games, right? So, I mean, if you look at like when did all the good games come out? I'll use the PC because I'm a PC gamer, right? All the RPGs and the God games and Civilization type games and first person shooter and fighting games, all these genres came up, sort of in this middle ground when computers were cheap enough that anyone could get one and they weren't powerful enough to do much yet, right? Because then, you can program a game in like a couple months with a couple friends and then throw it out there, and you get all this great innovation. And now that it takes like, $500,000 Unreal Tournament license just to get off the ground to make a game, you just get first-person shooters over and over again, and third-person adventure games over and over and over again. I don't remember the last time an interesting game came out that I hadn't seen before.
That's why the mod community is so important.
Yeah, so great. So you've taken this rich, experience of gameplay where you have like sort of something on one end, you've got Civilization, and then you've got first-person shooters, and then you've got, games like Railroad Tycoon and all these different types of games, and now you've compressed it into how many ways can you make a first-person shooter? And it's, it's just like, I don't know about that, So, with the Wii, so that's two things I look forward to is, the Wii, you can get people making games on the cheap, a couple $100,000 instead of a couple $1 million. So maybe we'll see some new stuff there, and the control is obviously going to help that. And then I hope Microsoft with their XNA. Have you heard about this?
That's a development thing, isn't there?
Yeah, it is. It's like easy way to make games. It's like the whole tool chain, and if you pay, I don't know how much it costs, but some nominal fee per month, other people can download your code and compile it and play it on their Xbox. And they're trying to find a way to enable that on live somehow, where you can just have sort of like the YouTube of video games, where you have a bunch of hobbyist gamers making these games on the Xbox that you can then download and play on your Xbox. All right, and if you do that, then you can go back to this era where there's a fixed platform that's kind of powerful, but you can just kind of get a couple guys together and try out a game idea and throw it out there and see who likes it. Right, and then maybe get picked up by a studio to make a sequel or something that's better, right? But Sony's way, oh my god, that's the worst, right? Make this thing that's really powerful, but really cryptic and impossible to develop for, and, yeah, so, but I like the Wii. At least I like their business model of, let's sell the people who the other two giants aren't going after, and make it really cheap and really, it's sort of like an iPod, right? Everybody wants.
I was just thinking that it was just like the iPod, going after the mainstream. Because before the iPod, digital music was usually just for audiophiles and computer nerds,
right?
But now it's mainstream.
Everyone has.
It's funny, Bunk. I was at the Web 2 Zone yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
These people, they come in like, cause when we sit there playing our fighting games, people actually come in. They come to play like systems and whatnot. And a lot of people, they were coming in yesterday playing 360, and nobody ever comes in and requests PlayStation 3 at all. And I'm watching couples come in, a guy with his girlfriend and come in and play Gears of War or something. I'm like where the hell, man? What you expect PlayStation 3 to be so popular now? But it's so sad watching this.
What's one interesting though? Something you said earlier, Tony, about like as far as the graphics concerned. I remember one game, Soul Calibur 2.
Mm-hmm.
Was released on Xbox, PlayStation 2, and the GameCube. And I played all three versions, and I thought the GameCube version looked the best. Out of the three of them.
Yeah, I had the GameCube version.
Yeah, I'm like, so I actually think that they're actually kind of short. It's kind of interesting though. I don't really think that, just like the GameCube, I don't really think that the Wii has really actually, no one really knows what this full potential can do as far as doing a really serious game. Until we see like Resident Evil, which again looked beautiful on GameCube. I think that the whole thing about the Nintendo Wii not being powerful enough, I think that's sort of overblown.
Well, no, it's pretty much true. I mean, we know what's in the Wii, and the hardware looks a lot like a GameCube. And with the GameCube, there's kind of like it always takes like 4 or 5 years before developers really get the hang of the hardware and can really squeeze everything out of it. So with a Wii being like a GameCube plus, there's not that much more to learn. So I think things will look.
But isn't that a good thing? I mean, isn't it better to? It's just like how some people. It's just like if you have an experienced driver versus a novice driver, and the experienced driver is driving a Mazda Miata, and the novice driver is driving a Corvette. The experienced driver eating them up alive on the autocross range. Because
oh yeah, sure.
My fucking God. Sorry.
No,
I mean, yeah, you're gonna get good-looking Wii games. But I'm just saying, when Brawl comes out, that's going to look really awesome. Mm-hmm. And don't expect stuff to look much better than Brawl. Because, I mean, it's there's not that much more left in the console. But, I mean, in my opinion, Brawl's good enough. Like, I don't really like the ultra-realistic style that a bunch of first-person shooters and now the third-person people are actually going after. I think it looks just like fake realism, and I'd rather have something much more stylized, like World of Warcraft did, where they don't even try to look realistic, but what they do looks really good in its own style.
You are my new hero, because I have been saying the same thing to my brother for the past 5 years. It's like, if I want a movie, I'll go see a movie at the theater. I don't need all my games to look like movies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it has its place. Like Metal Gear Solid 2, I think that was a good, because it was sneaking around and it was kind of like, but it wasn't. I mean, they kind of took the style and took it into the direction of the game with this weird robot thing you're doing, and then went for the ultra realistic rendering. But I mean, things like those Battlefield games, it's just like, I feel like I'm watching Saving Private Ryan, which is cool for 20 minutes, but I've seen Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, that's why they changed it up in the newest game.
That's right. It's right.
They try to make it more futuristic right now because people are getting bored of the realism.
Yeah, exactly. How many war games do you have?
2142.
How many World War II games have been made in the past 5 years?
I
think they're finally starting to get that we don't want any more World War II games.
Yeah, Call of Duty.
First-person shooters.
I think Call of Duty 4 marks the end of the World War II era of
I have
games.
a conspiracy theory about that. I really think the government is behind that. I really do believe the government's behind that because I think it's a way of marketing, joining the armed forces.
Ben, they have America's Army. There's no secret, right?
Well, yeah, that's right. They do have that. You're right.
And not only that, America's Army is going to be on ladder now. So I forgot which league.
Army Gaming League is being GGL is running it, but it's called the Army Gaming League. They're using America's Army and some other games.
Wow.
In Seattle here, they gotten so angry about the military recruitments by the government at the high schools that they actually started picketing the Board of Education meetings because they have to be public by law, and they picketing them because they're we're tired of recruiters coming there and we're only 15 years old talking about their first career in the Army. I'm like, goodness gracious. I think that's shameless, though. I mean, but I went to the same thing, man. When I was in high school, I got approached when I was 16, and I was like, hey, it was join the ROTC. Then it was, hey, you can go into the Army, we'll pay for your college and everything. Yeah, if I don't come back from in the box, yeah.
And they'll still pay for it if you come back in the box, man. They ain't lying.
Shoot.
Yeah, just make sure to give me the money, okay?
It's cheaper if you're in
the games
box
are using
pay for your college.
the Army Gaming Championships is using Battlefield 2142, Call of Duty 2 and 3, Command and Conquer 3, Counter-Strike Source, Gears of War, Halo 2, Resistance, Ghost Recon 2, Advanced Warfighter, and Rainbow Six Vegas. Damn, that's a lot of games.
How much money are they putting up?
What game do you want to know?
No, I mean all together. They should have a random amount prize money for all of it.
They don't say here. Hold on.
Oh.
I need to combine them all.
Hey Ben, that's one of the reasons why I probably enjoy Gears of War so much. I had played so many realistic shooters that I got like saturated with them shits. And then like this new shooter comes out where you can actually shoot people in the head and they don't die from one shot. I was like, oh hell yeah.
Anything that's not not the the typical
Rainbow
status
Six.
quo, you know.
I mean, even if you look at the characters, they're not drawn realistically. They're like these big, bulky Warhammer-looking guys with guns and shit.
I don't like Gears of War. It looks too gray to me. Like whenever I see it, I haven't played it, but it looks like
It's actually not that gray. I know there's some videos I saw. It does look gray, but it really doesn't look that gray when you actually see the game. It's a lot of color and shit. It really depends on the level too.
Oh, okay, all right.
And they got graphic settings. You can make it more brighter and all the shit. I don't know. It depends on the level you put it on.
I mean, you know what? But the one thing though is,
I won't even lie. I still play Counter Strike though.
Honestly, I love Counter Strike. I love Quake too. When I get my new computer, I'm gonna play Quake 4 like all day. 'Cause I want to actually go to a tournament in Dallas.
Quake and Unreal, are they made by the same company?
Nah,
No,
Quake is made
Quake
by
is
id. Quake is made by id, and Unreal Tournament is made by Epic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Epic. They make Unreal and Gears and Unreal Tournament 3 is coming out next. So
Yeah.
You know, but you know what? Something we just got through covering, but it bears repeating though. One thing about the Xbox 360, I know there's people talking about, there's not a lot of games out for the Wii and everything, but on the Xbox 360, it's like for every something that's different, there's 5 first-person shooter games.
I don't know, but all these shooters are different though.
I know,
You ever
but
compare them?
but you know what? It's almost. I mean, I swear that gentleman has to get saturated. I mean, everywhere I turn around, it's this first shooter coming out. I don't get it.
It's popular because it's really popular online.
Right.
And people like the team. They like playing as teams online and shit. And it's really
Yeah,
popular.
they
I
like
don't
joining
blame them.
leagues and ladders and tournaments. That's why.
One thing you have to notice though is that most of the shooters are actually made by one company.
Oh, yeah, okay. By the way, someone said that one of the Matrix games is absolutely garbage, but they said that the other one is actually really, really good and it's online. I can't remember the one.
The Matrix
Yeah, I think I heard
Online.
that too. I heard the other Matrix game was actually really good.
Is it the Path of Neo?
Yeah, I think it's that one.
I don't know. My brother was telling me about that. Actually, I've been talking about my brother. I promise I'll call him when I have the show. Hold on for a second.
Alright.
You got 2 Alpha cameras in this game?
Wait, what? What was the question?
Characters have 2 different Alpha cameras?
Yeah, one with punch and one with kick.
Oh.
He sounds mad far away.
I'm pretty far away from my playing on a fucking pad. Chilling now.
Person you are calling does not take unidentified calls. Your caller ID was not received. To enter an access code, press 1, or to record your name so that we may announce your call, press 2.
Who the fuck is this R-Star guy in GGPO talking shit?
The channel?
Yeah, upon GGPO.
The person you are calling does not take unidentified. Enter your access code.
Oh shoot.
Oh god, it's a main player. And that's why he's a fucking
The access code you entered is not valid.
dee-dee-dee.
Hold.
Never gonna give, never gonna give.
So that we may announce your call, please say your name or the name of the company you represent after the beep.
Darth Vader.
Please hold while we attempt to complete your call. This
You
may
sound
take
like
a few
Darth Vader
moments.
asthma.
Kai, what do you use for PC? What stick do you have?
Still trying.
What which Hori? Oh, you use a converter?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Still trying.
Try harder, bitch.
I haven't tried GGPO yet.
Please
Well,
continue to hold. The person you are calling is not available at this time. Please try again later.
so Ben,
What's
I
up?
played a lot of Guilty Gear yesterday.
What?
I played a lot of Guilty Gear yesterday, Accent Core. I really don't see a problem with it being ran in the
Played
tournament.
in real life? Were you? Oh, like.
Yeah, I was playing with a bunch of people.
I thought you meant you cosplayed Guilty Gear in real life.
Nah, I mean I was
know
playing
people
like.
Nah, I guess I just know weird people. I'm sorry. That's where my mind went.
Oh, okay. Alright. You thinking about some real life shit? Like I'm fighting, like I'm dressed up like Kai or something?
I thought you LARPed some Guilty Gear.
I was LARPing? Oh, no, hell no.
Or you were larging Guilty Gear, live action, real Guilty Gear.
You know what? But you know what?
What the
Hey, you know,
fuck?
this is like the first time we ever like gotten. You know, the American version is gonna be better than the Japanese release.
That's incredible.
Yeah, for one of those other games, I can't remember. One of them has bug fixes.
You know what I was thinking?
But actually, what they're saying is that the first run of the Accent Core, Guilty Gear Accent Core for PlayStation 2, had bugs in it, and that the the ones that are being sold now, they're fixed.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. I heard a rumor about that, but I haven't seen any new dumps yet, so I can't test it.
Yeah, so everyone's waiting for someone to buy it again. 'Cause everyone
Buy it and fucking upload it again.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Yeah, I keep hearing it, so I'm like, okay, is this true? I want to test it, you know? All I need to do is see like if Bridget can do her jumping, hard slash in the air, the close one. If that works, I know all the bugs are fixed. Because that's really one of the fucked up things that she's missing an entire move. He's missing an entire move.
Slap those shit.
But it was playing pretty, you know, I didn't notice anything that would fuck it up from being in the tournament yesterday. It was actually really smooth. We all had some good matches and whatnot.
But now after this fall, there ain't gonna be no excuse for no one not to play Guilty Gear.
But the game was really fun. There was a lot of players there I didn't see before.
Where did you play this at again?
I'll play it.
I played at Web 2 Zone with a bunch of players, the Evo East first place team and whatnot.
You scraped them?
Hell yeah, man. I had Flash Metroid playing Axel by the end of the night.
Man.
Which characters I was so nice, man. It was crazy.
Don't remind me, man.
Oh, my friend, the Anji player, he was fucking everybody up. Hope you got it ready for Evo, man.
Man, I want to go. Nah, I want to see if I
Dude,
can
if
go.
I take this new job, I don't know if I'll be able to go. I'm like, yeah, I just got hired, but I need to go on vacation.
No, tell him that beforehand. Tell him that before if you when the old job you had to get time off for something that you got to take care of something personal, some event you already promised for and whatnot. Don't make it sound like a vacation, you know.
Yes, for my radio station.
You can't say it like that either. You gotta like make it seem like it's something personal that can fuck you over if you're not there and whatnot. Come on, man. You should have some good excuses.
Yeah, I need to go to Las Vegas because... See, that's the problem, is Las Vegas. It's not like I'm asking to go to...
Don't tell them you're going to Vegas.
Yeah, don't tell me you're going to Vegas. Tell me you're going over to, like, somewhere near Vegas. Not Vegas, though.
I am going to Phoenix, Arizona to grow my vines. I don't know. I'm at
I'll be going to a gay pride parade.
You know what? I have two of my coworkers are going to that this weekend.
There you go.
Yep, because my boss, he's gay. Cause he's going.
Start shaking your hips and snapping your fingers.
No, that's okay.
You probably do it already anyway.
Only when I'm at home. No, I mean I was just thinking though because I just found out this cute girl that works at my job. I found out she's a lesbian.
Damn.
You know, such a waste.
That's awesome. Make sure you get some pictures.
You know, and I told her, I'm like, why are you a lesbian? You know, I don't know. I'm like, just because you haven't had a giant black python. No, I did not say that.
You see, when they be messing with those dildos, there's no like, it's not like they're gonna just bust a nut and finish. We like men, they always like, yo, we got a dick, man, we can do this and that, but once you finish, man, you're done. They want to keep going.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Now, I'm talking about a lesbian. He's talking about you haven't seen this black snake or whatever, but man, please, after like 5 minutes, she's gonna want something else.
And when
For the lesbians, man.
then you can make her coffee or Vicks vegetables or something.
Fuck.
That's Ski with it. Ski is serious. She's like, you know, some girl be telling me, hey, babe, I want some more. I'm like, let me get you some coffee. I'll be right back. Here's some coffee.
You gotta have, you know, a lot to offer because you can't just keep giving the one thing. Be either the coffee or the mixed vegetables or the other thing. Fix.
You know what? Hey, at this rate, Ski, like at Evolution World, you're gonna have I want you to actually cook your mixed vegetable because you've been bragging about that for the last month and a half, and
bring up a pan, man. Bring up an electric pan and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a 4-star hotel. Do they have stoves? Hey, anyone stay at the Green Valley Ranch? Do they have stoves in the apartment? I mean, not apartments, in the hotel rooms.
I doubt that. I don't know.
Hey, Tony, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm playing online.
Well, what did Red Robin think about us? I heard that Red Robin wasn't too enthused after you guys were done with Evolution last year.
Huh? Red Robin? Oh, you mean the Red Rock?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm hungry.
I don't know. I don't remember hearing anything about that.
Oh, okay.
I know Daigo was drunk and had to be carried back to his room in a wheelchair, but other than that...
What?
He wasn't, are you sure you were talking about Combo Fiend? Or maybe that...
No, I think I'm talking about Daigo. Maybe I'm talking about
I think it happened to both of them, actually.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Daigo and Combo Fiend were both fucked up real bad.
Right.
But, I mean, this is Vegas, right? That's not that bad for Vegas, is it?
No, I thought that's
not,
about par for the course, isn't it? How can you go to Vegas and not get fucked up?
That's a good question. I don't think it's possible.
Hey, I don't drink, man.
Me either.
Yeah.
Me either. Do you drink up, Tony?
Would you ask me something?
Do you drink?
Only socially and not very much. About 1 or 2 beers is my limit.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't run the brackets drunk, man.
I beg your pardon. Who is doing something freaky with their microphone?
That's Sonic smacking them.
He's mashing, man. You think he's playing Marvel, that's why he's losing.
Not me, I'm playing on pad, man. Y'all can't hear me.
That's
Oh,
me.
who's that?
I'm
Oh, that's
mashing.
you.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
It's a DOA stick. It's really loud. I can't help it.
Who are you playing against?
Some dude. What's his name? Let me look it up. I scrolled off the screen. Crazy Cambo? Can't spell
Yeah, I
combo?
played against some.
Oh, you know what? That's Bucktooth. That's probably Bucktooth.
No way.
Oh,
He's not. I'm like beating him down. It can't be Bucktooth.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay. Okay.
Might be, you never know.
I don't know.
CVS.
He signed on earlier, but he was on the name like
Oh, he
Bandit
did,
or
yes.
some shit. I don't remember.
Bambi.
I'm gonna go in on the OG name and lose on purpose. What's up?
Make
can
Cal-
post
Yo,
on
somebody
Cali
make
Power.
Cali Power. Hurry up.
Damn it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Hold
use
on.
Cali Power, then I'm gonna lose, get my ass whooped, and start phone threads. Yo, I beasted on value, man.
Flagless Street Fighter. I beat the shit out of Bayek. Do it.
Just take that shit to Evo, son. 500.
Who challenged Valle to? Didn't someone challenge Valle to a money match on like Street Fighter Alpha 2 for the SNES? Was it Bunk?
Jerron?
Yeah, Jerron.
I think it was Bunk trying to fuck with Jerron.
Yeah.
Telling him his friend wants to play him for money.
Remember
a long
said,
time ago you said you wanted somebody to play him for money, but it was Valle. You didn't want to let him know who it really was.
Oh yeah, I got him good with that. I got him good with that. I told him, like, how about, no, it was a team thing. It was like, how about it just you and my friend Alex? That's what I said.
I'm playing some Rose.
Yo, yesterday when I was playing in Guilty Gear, you couldn't play downstairs, yo. They had a random Smash 20, Smash Brothers, man.
Okay.
I can't get over how deep that shit is, man. It's like, what the fuck? It was like 75 guys downstairs. I'm like, what the fuck, man? This is all for Smash on a random Friday? That shit kills me, man. We would announce the tournament a month in advance. We wouldn't get that many people. Not even close.
Hey, Tony. I went ahead and registered Cali Power just because I'll give it to Alex. I mean, I'm just gonna try to prevent anyone else from stealing it.
Okay.
No, because just in case he complain to you, like, what the hell? Why is it?
Yeah, he's like, yo, man, give me Cali Power. What's up?
There's a channel called GGPO. How come you never told us, Tony?
It's on the website. It says we're in GDPO on FNet.
Oh.
I beat
learn
Rose.
to read, black man.
L2R.
I've only been reading
No,
for 2
be more
years.
like True Tech. Learn to read like a black man should. True Tech the young man.
Cope was like, you're late.
What the fuck is that thing Rose does that she like takes the fucking your fireball and just like absorbs that shit?
She can repel it back at you. I died that
Yeah,
way.
she can repel it.
Yeah, she can absorb it from me or repel it, yeah.
And if you both playing Rose and then you repel it back to her, it gets like
Oh,
faster.
bitch, kill my custom combo, motherfucker. Fucking Ryzen.
Tony,
What?
I
should
think,
start playing
I
against
think
it
he
now.
started a frenzy right here. I mean, I can't even have a radio show now. Everyone's playing the game.
Fuck, this nigga fucking me up, son.
So they have, what other games do they have planned for it, you know?
MVC one. He said MVC one. That's about it.
Nah, but what about some X and K stuff, man? You gotta get the Mexicans up on this. What's good?
The Mexican.
Dead geese will probably like come to your house and say, "Yo."
Do Mexicans have broadband?
Yeah, dead geese is probably gonna never leave you alone.
Yeah,
Dark geese,
yeah.
are
Dark geese.
dark geese, yeah.
That
Dead
guy.
geese.
Yeah.
Yo,
What's
but
his name?
KOF Online, what's good? Getting cursed out in Spanish, man.
What
Random
the
people
fuck?
from China.
Damn, it's so hard to tech Rose in this game. Niggas is-
No, Rose, you son of a bitch, motherfucker. Damn.
Yo, so is it possible to stream matches from this shit?
Oh my god, turn that off!
Hell, huh?
Oh, turn it down, man. You just killed our ears. Son of a bitch.
It's gonna throw me off. It's gonna...
Okay, I guess I can't play.
Hey, yeah, guys, is it
No, you can
possible
turn
to
the sound
stream
off.
this
Turn the
match
sound
straight?
off.
How can you turn the sound off? Hold on.
That box
Oh.
has sound codes and music codes.
So, is it possible to stream matches? Everything's possible, but the problem is GTPO is peer-to-peer. So if we stream from one of the guys' computers, then you're starting to affect the gameplay because his lag goes up because he has to send,
I can't play Sagat
lots
for shit.
right?
Alpha 2, my bad.
So we can do like a delayed stream where there's a server and the server sends some stuff, so it's maybe like 10 seconds delayed or something. But kind of low already.
Okay.
I mean, I really want to get the ladder working so that people can talk more shit.
Well, is there any way for spectators? Like, is there
Nope.
gonna be like a...
Well, I mean, eventually, yeah, but I mean, first I want to get the ladder working, and then I want GGPO TV working so you can watch what happened while you weren't playing, and then maybe streaming Like maybe I'll always stream the top matches on the ladder, right? So you're always seeing number 1 versus number 2 or something. That would actually
that's
be a
what I was
really good
thinking about.
Yeah. Wow, someone wants me to get KOF working. That's
Yeah, that's
like
what I was saying.
that's like never gonna happen. I'm sorry.
Why not?
Well, first of all, Final Burn doesn't, as far as I know. Well, maybe it does. Hold on, let's check. Click input. Wrong button. Anyway, does Final Burn support that SNK Neo Geo engine thing?
I don't remember I ever used it for, but it might. I need to really check up.
I'm sorry, that's the way it is. But if you can get like a mass of people who all went King of Fighters and you'll all lobby me, then maybe, sure,
Let's
but...
go to Mexico. They're right there at the border. Chilling.
Yeah, you really shouldn't do that, because, people will really show up with that shit. You can, like...
no, don't come to my house. Just post a forum thread or something.
Oh, I'm a...
Well, I just noticed that a lot of KLF games, they're pretty popular online,
King Fighter
I don't know, it'd
98.
be interesting. If it's possible, if it's not possible, I don't know.
I mean, given an emulator that works, it's totally possible.
I faked out rolls twice with the fucking taunt fireball.
What's going on, DJ?
Man, I just got back to the house.
Man, we all playing Street Fighter Alpha 2. I shit you not.
On purpose?
Yeah, man.
Good shit. What's up, Jate?
Hey, everybody, whatever float they boat, man. I can't get mad at it. Shit. I just wanted to run. I just wanted to get back to the house in time so I could watch the Ultimate Fighter finale. So shit. What's good with
Kimbo
y'all?
fighting today, man?
Yeah, Kimbo's supposed to fight today.
Just,
man,
but
that's
like
funny.
on stream.
But I don't have any results on that yet. I'll know I got somebody there, so they'll call me as soon as something happens. So when I know something, y'all know something.
Kimbo killed that motherfucker. What?
Kimbo's gonna get knocked out.
Kimbo's probably gonna die in the ring.
I know so.
Yeah, he's not that kind of fighter, but, I mean, it's just, he just got that look. Right? He just got that look.
A lot of people can look the part of tough, man. Problem with Kimbo is not his lack of ground game. It's his dude has no cardio. And even worse, he couldn't work his way out of a guillotine. I saw that crap. That was terrible.
Was that the fight where they were trying to, like, where they said no submissions?
Yeah. Talking about no knees. What kind of crap is that?
Yeah. It's a street fight. What the fuck is this rule shit in a street fight?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. People ask me if I fight Kimbo. I was like, yeah, do I get to do what I want? All I gotta do is just not get hit.
Damn it.
Is everybody like, oh, where's everybody at?
Oh, we playing Alpha 2, dog.
Oh, I know what you're doing, but where's everybody at playing?
ggpo.net /online.
Hey, Tony, you there?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, I'm looking at this final. I'll look at the Final Burn site. Looking at they link Final Burn Alpha, whatever. It has some SNK screenshots, I guess. So I don't know.
Final Burn, not Final Burn Alpha.
I don't know. I'm just looking at the
Alpha
site.
Is a really featureful emulator that does a lot of different hardware and has a lot of different.
Oh, I want to play.
But I had trouble porting this to Final Burn Alpha because it does a whole bunch of stuff that you really don't want it to do.
Oh shit! I even got a pad. Oh, my bad. Sorry for interrupting.
That's all right. But yeah, I had to turn a bunch of stuff off, and even then, there's some bugs in its CPS2 emulation. Well, maybe not its emulation, but so I require a lot of determinism out of the emulator, meaning every frame I want it to execute exactly 1/60th of a second worth of data and stuff, and I want, and Final Burn Alpha kind of doesn't do that. as well as Final Burn does. So I gave up and said, screw it, Final Burn's good enough. Some people don't like that because they like MAME or they like Final Burn Alpha and they want to use their emulator, but, you know, it's only an alpha. Maybe I'll figure it out.
Oh, this is tight. So is everybody only playing Alpha 2? I need to get in on this.
Yeah, you can only play Alpha 2 right now, I think.
To run the test, his sign up.
Hey, where is Guy on the tier list for his Alpha 2?
He's pretty up there.
You wouldn't know it by the way I play him. I cannot play this shit on keyboard. This is not gonna work.
Yeah.
I want to be a Kalara warrior now.
Kalara warrior.
That's what I want. This is the nerdiest looking fighter I've ever seen in my life.
Street Fighter Alpha 2?
No, I'm watching an actual fight. I'm watching the Ultimate Fighter finale.
Oh, okay. I'm like, you're get around.
No, I ain't gonna lie. I prefer, what's it called? I honestly do prefer, Alpha 3, but, you know, whatever game works for me, shit. As long as this works.
I don't understand. You know what? One thing I don't get about Alpha 2 is like how supers can have like no. What the fuck?
Yo, supers are so.
How supers don't deal any damage sometimes?
No, not only that, but they
level
have,
1 do mad damage in this game.
but they have no priority. Like you can just slap me out of it. I mean,
I'm Chun-Li. I got level 1 supers for anti-air. I got level 1 supers off any button. It's all good. Shit does mad damage.
This crap is not telling me where I can download this crap.
Download what?
Oh, right. You need the
Wants me to download,
framework.
whatever you tell, whatever this thing is telling me to download.
Alright, this rose is starting to frustrate me. And I'm gonna damage him. If you hear me, I'm gonna damage you.
type.
Rose, where the fuck you are?
Shout out to Glory. Glory's a very good ADOM player.
It says click the download button on this page. Where the fuck is the download button? I'm blind as fuck.
It's on the page.
Oh man.
What? Okay, there it is.
Yo, what
Man,
the
I'm
fuck?
tired, man. Shit.
Oh my god, this fucking person is insane. Yo, I'm holding fucking block and this. Oh my god. Take the fucking lightning kicks of pain, motherfucker.
Lightning kicks of pain.
Custom combo lightning kicks.
I'm getting perfected by the computer. Yep, I'm getting perfected. Yep, I just got perfected.
Damn.
You're terrible.
Hello?
Hey, hold on a sec. I just got perfected by the freaking computer. Alright.
That means you should quit.
Yeah, I should. Actually, I'm just gonna close it up right now.
That's like Mizuki.
Hey.
I think I played Mizuki before.
Computer,
Yeah,
you know the
I'm
computer
trying.
has a knack of alpha counting your last hit right before you die.
Can you guys hear me alright?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna try to install this on my tower computer because my laptop's leaking out.
Oh, he's hurt. He's hurt.
Kimbo's hurt?
Block.
Bury that shit.
Now this dude took some knees into the stomach. Trust me, I know that mess hurts.